Well, well, well. Dak Prescott is back. Dak Prescott is absolutely back. Dallas Cowboy fans, we got some things to rejoice about. Dak Prescott has been seen. The film has been making the rounds. I'm absolutely loving it. Thank God it's Friday. God has blessed us with life. And God has also blessed us to be the fans of the greatest team ever, the Dallas Cowboys. Yep. And this is actually live. Let me put a loop of Dak Prescott over here as we get ready to talk about it. Yep. That's Dak Prescott. I guarantee you Dak Prescott's excited. But again, how about stockier at the bottom? I would be very interested, Jared, to know his weight. I'd be very interested to know his weight right now. Oak Cliff Rockefeller, what's up? Yep, the NFL. Oh, I'll be looking at trading him. Gets his dad. Yes, sir, NFC East better be afraid because we do have the best quarterback in the NFC East, bar none. And hey, I like that dude, Jaden Daniels. He ain't that. And so today we have another really good show, in my opinion. We got 5 topics we're going to deal with today, and within those topics, we'll probably go in depth on some things, but we're probably not going to look at the draft. I mean, we'll start looking at the draft again next week, but at the end of the day, you know, we just keep going around in circles on this thing about the draft of who the Cowboys might get and blah, 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 and all that stuff is fun, but at the end of the day, you know, I really want to get down to some things that we actually do know or talk about some of the stories that are going on and spin our track. And then I want to look at, I saw an article about 5 bubble players for the Dallas Cowboys, 5 players who got to prove it in order to stay on this team. Then we're going to look at, we didn't get a chance to look at yesterday, we're going to look at the rule the NFL made up for CeeDee Lamb. I mean, and he's not the only one that's doing it, but he is as far as my understanding, I didn't see anybody doing this until CeeDee Lamb was doing it. And then, of course, I started seeing, you know, people who would try to taunt CeeDee Lamb, people like Deebo Samuels. I saw other defensive backs. They would try to do it as in retaliation to one CeeDee Lamb. But we can officially call this the CeeDee Lamb rule. And then I saw another article that's very interesting. It is very interesting. They are predicting the Cowboys' 2025 record. And I'm going to show how that prediction is absolutely asinine. It is dumb to even think of the record that they're going to give the Dallas Cowboys. And so that's going to be our show for today. And I know we'll probably mix a few things in here and there, but nevertheless, let's get it. So let's get to our first topic today, and it is the topic of the day for me, and it is the fact that Dak Prescott is back. Dak Prescott is back, and man, I am telling you, just looking at the form, looking at the hip work, I mean, Dak is he's looking like he was never gone. Dak's looking great to me. I'm pretty sure right now they're just kind of, you know, building him back, kind of a lot of limited movement, I'm pretty sure. But for what we see right here, boom, he looks good. That stuff. The only thing that I've really been concerned about is them building their defense. I do wish they would go and get Ted McMillan is there. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys trade back and get a Micah and then get Travion Henderson. Dak Prescott got that real quarterback body. Yes, sir. I'm in agreement with you. I think Let me tell you about. Let me tell you the energy they're saying for the Cowboys. But again, Dak Prescott, he looking, and something that we might be, we might not realize it, but this is a blessing. This break for Dak Prescott, even quarterbacks in this league, it's a constant grind. You're always working out. And as a quarterback, you're not only working your mind, you're working your body. You want to get out there. You want to throw the ball. And I'm just telling us, Dak Prescott is one of these guys. He's a workaholic. So this injury may have been the blessing and the disguise for him. The blessing and I'm sorry, it may have been the blessing and the curse. The blessing in disguise, per se, because he got an opportunity to get some additional rest on his body. Dak's 32 this year. If I'm not mistaken, he's 32 this year. It is good. I mean, you don't want it, but he got some additional rest on his body. He was probably able to just get back in the weight room and just really get his body and his mind back together. We should see an absolute spectacular season from Dak Prescott this year. We should. We should see a great season from Dak Prescott this year. A. Dot, he said Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. Dan Marino did not. Exactly. Dan Marino was better than both of those guys. A. Dot. This is why it's so important for the Cowboys. They have to build a team around Dak Prescott this year. And I think they went a long way towards doing it, and they started with the coaching staff. Yes, sir. My man D-Block. What's going on, D-Block 88? I'm telling us there's a lot of things that there were so many expectations on that 2023 season. We're 12-5. We're going in. We're playing the lowest wild card. And no one's, I guess, paying attention to the tape that Green Bay had got red hot down the stretch. Similar to how the New York Giants got red hot when the New York Giants beat the Dallas Cowboys, who at the time were the number 1 seed, would beat off of us. That season was so disappointing, not to mention all the things that were going on behind the scenes that we realized in 2024. 2024 is when the boo-boo hit the fan, in a sense, and we started understanding and hearing all the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. That season was draining for this team. It was draining. And then 2024, it's just the icing on the cake. Everyone knows that 2024 is a throwaway season. Everyone knew it, including Micah Parsons, who was saying, yeah, the Cowboys we can go on a run with Cooper Rush, go to playoffs. Stop it. And then comes back after the season and tells Derrick Henry, it's good that you didn't come to our team. So you don't think you could have went to, we already know what Micah Parsons was doing. It's neither here nor there now. But again, this team was mentally drained. And so this issue with Dak Prescott, he's got a chance to rest his body. The Mike McCarthy mess is out the door. Brian Schottenheimer and Dak Prescott are going to have a better relationship than Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, because it came to the light that Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott didn't get along in the beginning. Brian Schottenheimer and Dak Prescott, they've already went at each other, and it wasn't from a disrespect perspective, but from a respect issue. And so now Dak Prescott and Brian Schottenheimer, they already they're on that page of we're going to challenge each other. So this for Dak Prescott, it gives you a chance. He's got a chance to step back, look at the game from a distance, look at the game up close. And contrary to what a lot of people thought, oh, I wish Dak would speak up. Dak's been in communication with Jerry Jones. Dak proved to me he was in communication with Jerry Jones from the very beginning of the season. This is the very reason why Dak didn't hold out. This is the very reason why Dak wasn't sweating Trey Lance. Because Dak Prescott already knew what the plan was, talking to Jerry Jones. And so now we get to see the next part of the plan. Dak Prescott has got a chance to rest his mind. We've been spoiled by some of the things that have happened recently, and we think every time, so we think it's time when a quarterback gets, you see people saying stuff like, well, Dak 31, 32, he's beyond winning a Super Bowl. Where you get that stuff from? Well, where do we get that stuff from? It just doesn't make sense when we start talking like that. But again, we've been spoiled by a lot of this rookie stuff. But, hey, man, Dak Prescott, we'll know more as the weeks go on. This is being reported by Brandon Laurie. He says Prescott had positive things to say about his recovery a few weeks ago, which is true. He said, I'm feeling good. I'm doing more and more. The last 2 weeks have been huge and progressive for me. So Dak, he's looking good. Because a lot of people were saying he wasn't even going to be back on the field by now, which I thought was just hogwash. I really thought it was hogwash. But again, Dak is back up in this thing, so it's good. Drew 912, he said Dak is the only quarterback who has gotten hurt in the NFL. It is about performance on the field. That part is true too. But again, Drew 912, let us not discount. The problem this team, and including the fan base, we let our owner brainwash us. Our owner was saying some of the dumbest stuff that you could ever say as an owner. We only go as far as Dak Prescott takes us. That's dumb. Who puts that pressure on their quarterback? Tell me when you ever heard Andy Reid. Tell me when you ever heard Sean McVay. Tell me when you ever heard Bill Belichick. When do these guys say stuff like, we're only going as far as Brady can take us. We're only going as far as the names don't come to my mind now. But again, you fill in the blank. We're only going as far as Matthew Stafford take us. What? We're only going as far as Patrick Mahomes take us. That's dumb talk. That is absolute dumb talk. That is not creating a team atmosphere. In actuality, you're creating an atmosphere of animosity. And this is the thing that we don't understand. I'm just giving y'all some of my psychology background and some when you start talking about human psyche. When you put all the responsibility on me, you're not creating a team atmosphere. In actuality, you're creating an atmosphere of animosity. And especially in the NFL, because they have this very bad, but I want y'all to think about the psyche. Why do you think on your job? Why do you think when you get a raise on your job? Why do you think that your job tells you, don't tell anyone that you got a raise? Don't tell anyone your salary. You know why? You may be making more than the person over you. So how do you think that makes them feel? That's why they don't want you telling that stuff. They may bring you in saying, hey, you're going to be a person of the future. So we're going to pay you more than the supervisor because we plan on you being a supervisor in the next 2 to 3 years. So what do you think it does to the whole team? If you go in and start telling everybody, this is what I make, and you making more than everybody, and you just come in. Or when your boss, how many people have been a part of this? You're either that person that I'm talking about, or you know a person that was talked about like this. The boss comes in and says, hey, Niecy. Oh, the boss comes in and say, hey, guys, everything depends on Niecy. She's our best worker. She's our greatest worker. She does this. If it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have this, and we wouldn't be having that, and this and that, and Niecy this and Niecy that. So do you think that creates a team atmosphere? Or do you think that creates an atmosphere of animosity? Because I'm telling you by experience and by study, that creates an atmosphere of animosity. It does. And Jerry created that with his fan base as it applies to Dak Prescott. Jerry created that. Jerry created that animosity in the way he's paid Dak Prescott this entire time. Didn't sign him to a contract when he had an opportunity to sign him to a contract when Jimmy Garoppolo got signed to the 49ers. Nope. He decides 2 franchise tags for Dak Prescott. How dumb is that? How dumb is that? And then on an injury came back and paid him buku dollars. How dumb is that? I'm not saying that Dak Prescott shouldn't have got paid because he should have. He earned it. But my point is Jerry paid more by waiting. This last contract that Dak got, that wasn't Dak's fault. Jerry waited until the price went up. And then you give Dak Prescott that kind of money and then start putting those kinds of expectations on him. And then you create that animosity by saying, well, because we gave Dak Prescott that kind of money, he ought to be able to overcome all the shortcomings that we've had since he's been here. Well, we don't get to do that. We don't get to do that. Dak Prescott, like any other quarterback in this league, he needs a team around him. He needs a team around him. And again, we got to get out of the Dallas Cowboy bubble. Well, he's had good teams. Okay. By whose standards? By your standards? Or when you compare the teams that Dak Prescott played on versus the Super Bowl teams versus the NFC Championship teams. Now, when you compare our teams to those, are our teams better than those? Because I'm going to tell you, if you say that that's true, you're not being honest. We have not had a team in the Tony Romo nor Dak Prescott era that was better than the Super Bowl team. We haven't. Even when the New York Giants came through here in the Tony Romo era, the Giants' defense was way better than ours. That Giants' defense not only wrecked shop on us, that Giants' defense wrecked shop on everyone in the NFL because they went all the way to the Super Bowl on a run. They not only beat every team in the NFC in the playoffs, they beat the team in the Super Bowl that year too, which was the New England Patriots, who were an absolute juggernaut. They not only did it once, they did it twice. We have not had teams, and we can dispute this all we want to. We have not had teams better than the teams who won the Super Bowl. We just haven't had better teams. It's a fact. Niecy said agreed. Agreed. She said, that's why I'm still giving Mozzie a chance. His weight has been up and down by force since he was drafted. Niecy. Dan Quinn started this mess. And so now Mozzie Smith, we've had to wait on Mozzie Smith because when you take this person out of their natural weight class, it does something to you. It does. It does something to you. And so now we got to wait. Now Mozzie got his weight back up, looked pretty good. He flashed with Mike Zimmer. I think this defensive coaching staff, they're going to have Mozzie Smith on point. I think they're going to have Mozzie on point. I do. Suge Midnight, what's up? He says, y'all need to stop pocket watching weirdos. Oh, y'all talking about money. Okay. But again, I'm telling us, man, the Cowboys, all they got to do is build a team around Dak Prescott, and they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Mike McCain said, with the shape that Dak is in now, do not be surprised if he doesn't start turning the wheels on like he did in his early career. I believe so, too. And Mike McCain, but you know what's going to make it easier for Dak Prescott to do that this time? Because he's going to have a run game. Not only is he going to have a run game, Mike McCain, he's going to have better wide receivers. Dak Prescott is going to have better wide receivers. I just think the Cowboys in this draft, they're going to keep it very simple. I know a lot of people are talking about the trade ups, the trade backs, the trade diagonals, and Connect Four and Crown Me and all this stuff. I don't think that's going to be the case. I just think this is going to be very simple for the Cowboys. If Genty is there, they take him. But I think they pretty much know he's not going to be there. Ted McMillan is there. They're probably going to take him. but there's probably a 50-50 chance that Ted McMillan is not going to be there. The only scenario, and then in that scenario, I don't think the Cowboys are going to get too fancy. If someone wants that 12 and if they feel like they can go backwards and still get a Micah Ibuka, because I don't think if Genty is not there, I would be, let me not say I would be surprised. I do think the Cowboys like Hampton. I think they like Amari and Hampton. But I'm not so sure that the Cowboys don't feel like they could go backwards and maybe pick up a 4th or pick up a 3rd. Let someone else have that 12th. Get a Micah Ibuka in the first round, and then in the second round, Travion Henderson. But again, I'm going to tell you something why I would not be surprised if the Cowboys bring in Luther Burden III for Dak Prescott. Because the more I look at Luther Burden III, he reminds me of Dez Bryant. Y'all tell me what you think in the chat. Luther Burden III reminds me of Dez Bryant for some reason. I mean, it's like he's kind of got that kind of Dez Bryant presence, that Dez Bryant body make. I mean, and he's a very violent runner. He's a very violent runner. But he reminds me of Dez. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought in Luther Burden III. I'm hoping it's a Mecca, but I will not be surprised if it's Luther Burden III. I won't. I will not be surprised. They go backwards, get Luther Burden III. Luther Burden III, he'll be fine in Dallas. He will be the number 2. He'll be fine for Dak Prescott. I have no doubt in my mind he'll be fine for Dak Prescott. But again, I believe Dak Prescott is ecstatic right now. Dak Prescott wanted to get the 2024 season behind him. Just like, I think like everyone else, they wanted to get the 2024 season behind them. And now it's on to bigger and better things. And so I believe Dak Prescott, like everyone else, is very excited for the season coming up. All right, you guys are kind of caught up. Let me see what you're saying here. All right. Timothy Govan. Oh, I love what you're saying right here. 4 weapons in the first 100 picks. Timothy Govan, let me tell you something I was thinking about. The Cowboys could literally go Emeka, Travion Henderson. And I'm just telling y'all guys, this dude Savion Williams, is different. If I were the Cowboys, there are 2 positions I'm doubling up on. I'm putting these guys in Dallas on notice. I'm putting Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, Jonathan Mingo, Ryan Flanoy. I'm putting all 4 of those wide receivers on notice by drafting Emeka Ibuka and Savion Williams. I'm putting them on notice. 2 of y'all not going to be here. I'm just letting you know up front. 2 of y'all not going to be here. I'm letting the Dallas Cowboys running back room in this draft. I'm putting Sanders. I forget the other kid's name. I'm putting Sanders. I'm putting Deuce Vaughn. I'm putting all 3 of those running backs on notice because I'm going in this draft and I'm going to get Emeka, Amari and Hampton. Those will be my early round picks in the second round. And I do think they will be able to get one of them. But I'm going to go back in the 5th and I'm going to get Damian Martinez. I'm putting them on notice. I am putting them on notice. And I do think the Cowboys are going to find a way to get back in the 4th round. If you want your defensive tackle, your edge rusher, your cornerback, even though I don't think the Cowboys will go the first 4 rounds, I don't think they'll go offense. I think they're going to probably go offense I think they'll go 2 offense, first and second, and then in the 3rd, you take your pick. They're probably going to either go tackle, edge rusher, or cornerback. But the Cowboys have a great opportunity in this draft. Even if they go in the back end and get another wide receiver and another running back, the Cowboys are going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Yeah, the Cowboys are definitely going to be fine. But again, Luther Burden III kind of reminds me for some reason of Dez Bryant. He really does. And so D-Webb, he says, I've been saying Luther Burden is a good fit for Dak. He reminds me of Dez. He really does reminds me of Dez. He seems to be a very tough runner. But again, guys, I'm telling you, I would love for the Cowboys to get Savion Williams. Now, Savion Williams was projected at first to be a fifth. Now I think he's projected to be a third. He's not going to be there. The Cowboys would have to make a decision on him in the third round. Because if they don't make a decision on him in the third, he'll be gone. He'll be absolutely gone. Mike McCain, let me tell you about Golden. Golden, for me, if we're talking, if you listen to Jerry Jones, Dak friendly receiver. So let's think about Jonathan Mingo. What are his measurements? Jonathan Mingo, what? 6'2", 220-ish? It seems like Jerry is telling us that the Dak friendly receivers are the larger receivers, which I would absolutely agree. This is one of the reasons why we could never use Brandon Cooks appropriately. This is why we never could use why we didn't use Kevontae Turpin appropriately. The best plays you can use Kevontae Turpin on is not the deep sideline routes, not the deep seam routes. Get him on the short, shallow crossing routes. You just get him in space and let him do the rest. And the one play that he scored on where he ran, 22 miles per hour, somewhere in there, we only ran it one time. We didn't even we should have put that play permanently in the playbook. Permanently. It should have been a play we should have been running 3 times a game with Kevontae Turpin. But McCarthy just couldn't work with these smaller wide receivers. And another thing, if you want to be a violent team, I don't think you do that with small wide receivers. Not with small wide receivers, unless you're going to put a guy like Golden in the slot. But for me, I wouldn't be crying if they got Golden because Golden is very productive, but he's a little small. What is he, 5'11"? And you know, when you start talking about height, sometimes people think, oh, it's only 3 inches. Well, if you ever look at someone who's typically like 6'2" versus someone who's 5'11", there's a difference. And it's not just height. It's typically it's not just typically. It's just the way the body is built. If you're 6'3" versus 5'11", you typically have what? Longer arms, longer torso, longer legs. You're just larger overall. Even if you're slimmer, you're still longer overall. And it still gives you some advantages. Now, if you're shorter, it's nothing against being short, but I said this when I first started this channel. I'm very biased. I want bigger wide receivers. I do not want smaller wide receivers. I don't. Brandon Cooks was too small for me. When I saw how small, because I just heard about Brandon Cooks, kind of glimpsed at him from time to time whenever he was playing, but was never really studying him like that. And then when he got to Dallas, I was like, wow, this guy's like a smaller wide receiver. Now, those type of wide receivers, you really got to have a plan for them. You do. You really have to have a plan for them. So, Daniel, you said Savion is a good fit for Dak. Now you're saying Luther Burden is third. No. I'm saying I won't be surprised if the Cowboys get Luther Burden the third. I will not be surprised if the Cowboys do it, Daniel Lim. I'm not going to be surprised because the more I look at him, he reminds me of Dez Bryant. And so Jerry Jones, I wouldn't be surprised if they are looking at Luther Burden III saying, kind of reminds us of Dez Bryant. Now, you already know my choice. It's a Mecca Buka or a Bouquet, whatever the name is pronounced. But again, you just heard me talking about Savion Williams. If I were the Cowboys, I'd get Savion Williams. I would get a Mecca in the first, Savion Williams in the third. Now, that might be too much for some people, Daniel Lim, not me. I would love for the Cowboys. I'm just telling you. This dude, Savion Williams, and I had this idea the other day. This dude, Savion Williams, Daniel Lim, let me share the idea I had in my head the other day. Savion Williams is so versatile. If the Cowboys only got Travion Henderson and then said we'll get Savion Williams, because when we looked at the tape, how did they play him? They lined him up for direct snaps, lined him up in the backfield, gave him the jet sweeps. He could take the place of another running back. He is a part of your run game. Savion Williams at TCU was literally a part, and he was a major part of their run game. Oh, I'd love to have Savion Williams. I got a video coming out later on today. You'll see again. I'm going to be talking about, you'll see again, Daniel Lim, where I am on Savion Williams. I'm just telling you where I am on this dude. When I look at Ted McMillan, I know why people want Ted McMillan. People look at Ted McMillan as a pure wide receiver. Pure wide receiver. Route running, good hands. He's not going to outrun anybody, but he's going to be very good for the corner routes, fade routes. He's going to be very good at a lot of that type of stuff. These bigger 6'5". Another reason why I would love to have these 6'5" wide receivers. You can see them easier in the zones. Because especially when you start talking about a lot of these teams are going to try to pull this off, even though everyone's not going to be able to accomplish it. A lot of teams are going to be trying to rush 4 and drop 7. And again, that's how you stop the Dak Prescotts. That's how you stop the Josh Allens. You stop the Patrick Mahomes. You stop the Joe Burrows. You want to drop 7. But when you get those bigger wide receivers, the tight window throws aren't so tight anymore. The catch radius of those guys. Long, lean, lanky. You can throw the ball up high on a 5'11" cornerback. Man, I was looking at this last year and I was like, it's actually shocking that there are not a lot of when you look at it, the cornerbacks, the average cornerback size. I'm gonna have to look it up. But when you look at teams, the cornerbacks in this league aren't that big. A lot of these cornerbacks do not be that big. They can play, but you don't see the large cornerbacks, like the 6'3", 6'4" cornerback. I mean, those are like unicorns almost. A lot of the cornerbacks, what do they be? Like 6 feet, 6'1". Sometimes you get the 6'2". And then it'll shock you because there'll be quite a few of them. 5'11", 5'10". So I understand why people want Ted McMillan. I will not be mad if the Cowboys get Ted McMillan because he is he's probably what you're looking at as a pure wide receiver. But I'm going to stick to my original premise. I was looking at some stuff this morning again. I'm sorry. Savion Williams is more explosive than Ted McMillan. I'll argue with anybody on this. Savion Williams is more explosive. Period. End of story. If you want a violent wide receiver that is very versatile, I'm telling y'all, I'm going to be shocked if Savion Williams does not turn out to be one of the biggest steals in the draft. To get Savion Williams in the 3rd round, man, you're getting first-round talent. First-round talent, I'm telling us. Ice Cold, he said, I prefer Savion Williams myself. Hey, Ice Cold, I'm telling you, man. Angie kept talking about this dude. Man, we looked at the tape. Man, this dude, Savion Williams, would be great with Dak Prescott. And I think Savion Williams would be I think he makes such an impact on your team. Because just from the simplicity standpoint, jet sweeps. Used to be a high school quarterback, I believe someone said. I mean, he's going to add so much versatility in the playbook. Direct snaps. Hey, we don't need the tush push. We got Savion Williams. Bring him in on 4th and 1. Bring him in on 4th and 1. 2 backs, 1 on each side, and then have Savion Williams in the middle. Man, let me tell you something. The Cowboys, boy, they would be hard to stop. Savion Williams, I would love to. Hey, Savion Williams, a running back, and if you could get Ted McMillan and Savion Williams, that would be insane. But again, Robert M. said you can't have them both. You can. You're just going to have to understand that in the first three rounds, you're going wide receiver, running back, wide receiver. Because Savion's going probably in the third. The Cowboys could probably get him. They could probably get him if they really wanted him in the third. They could really get him. Savion is just, he's just more, man, I'm telling you, even when I look at Dante Thornton, these are the three biggest wide receivers in the draft from everything I've looked at. Not including some of the ones that are going to go undrafted. There are probably some of them who are probably around 6'5" too. But when you look at the three that are in the top 30, Dante Thornton, Savion Williams, Ted McMillan. And when I look at explosiveness from a 6'5" wide receiver, Savion Williams is the most explosive. He's the most explosive, period. He seems to have the real bigger body type that it really looks like, man, this dude right here, you don't want to see him coming. Dante Thornton, again, with Dante Thornton, what you're watching is speed. That's what really jumps off the tape with Dante Thornton. Big plays because he's a speed guy, and speed kills every day of the week. Speed kills, man. When you run a sub 4.40 and you got football speed to go with it, oh, man, speed kills. Dante Thornton's going to be great, too, in this league. Dante Thornton's going to be great in this league, too. Now, the thing about Ted McMillan, the Cowboys are going to have to understand this. And any other team, if they get Ted McMillan over us, you're going to have to understand what Ted McMillan is, too. He's a pure wide receiver. He's not, even though on his pro day, I think he ran, what are they saying, like a 4.46? Let me just tell y'all again why I'm not blown away by pro days. Do we not understand how much they practice the pro days? They're supposed to do good. We do know this, right? It's the same thing for the combine. The guys who get invited to the combine, if you don't do good at the combine, you're not getting up like Deion Sanders coming up in there from some game or just throwing on a pair of shoes and say, let me run the 40. You're not doing that. No, these guys practice for weeks and weeks and weeks on the combine. And then I don't understand when they come out and do well, we go, woo. Now, the speed stuff, it's always going to make you go woo. It's just like when you go to a track meet. The number one thing everybody wants to see in the track meet is what? The 100, the 200, the 400-meter relay, the 800-meter relay. Those are the four events that we want to see. Why? Those are the speed events. So speed always makes people go, wow. So I can understand why people go, wow, when you look at the speed. But when it comes to the overall combine performances and then the pro day performances, okay. But I've already seen these guys in pads. I already know what they are. We've seen them in the pads. And people get, it's like Ashton Genty's physique. People saying stuff like, man, like he been put together in a factory. The dude has played football all his life. Have you never been around athletes? I mean, you don't even have to be around professional athletes. If you've been in a high school locker room as a player, there are a lot of guys with physiques. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are just, there are a lot of guys that are just really, really ripped because they've been doing this stuff since middle school. So, but Travion Henderson, hey, he's gonna be great. Ashton Genty, he's gonna be special, I believe. But we still have to reserve judgment because the competition is going to be a whole lot better in the NFL. So we'll see what it looks like. But he seems to be a very, very good back. And Ashton Genty is going to be great in this league. Him, Amarian Hampton, Travion Henderson. I think there are going to be some other ones towards the middle of the draft. They're going to be so good that people are going to be blown away, like Bashua Tootin, Damian Martinez, Marcus Yarns. You guys, we could all go on and on, but there's going to be some great guys back there. But again, Dak Prescott has to be excited. just looking at the draft, they can't lose. The only way they lose is they lose. The only way they lose is they're the ones, and some people are advocating the Cowboys going up in the first two rounds and getting offensive linemen. And man, no. No more O-line in round one. No more of this stuff. No more of this stuff. It is time to go in the first round and get another wide receiver. Go in the second round, because the second round running backs could literally be first round running backs. They could literally be first round running backs. This draft is loaded with running backs. No, if the Cowboys don't do this right, it's on them. They have got to do this right for Dak Prescott. They do. Mike McCain, yeah, he's really fast. He said, I did realize when I was watching this film that he falls on the ball a lot like Cole Beasley did, and that annoyed me and that killed drives. Yeah, he's a smaller wide receiver. But when you talk about the bigger guys with the speed, now that's different. Like Dante Thornton. I'm surprised Dante Thornton didn't just jump up into the first, but I think Dante, I think because of where he was in the pecking order on Tennessee, and I think he probably needs a little bit more development, probably why he didn't jump up further. But if you want a speed guy, go get Thornton. There are things that you can't teach, Mike, and you and me, we both know this. Can't teach size, can't teach speed. And some guys, when they get the ball in their hands, we have just watched, man, I have watched people on every level. You can just tell that there are certain people, they got vision and moves that other people don't have. They just do it effortlessly. I mean, effortlessly. Just a move that it would require you to work for months and years on. It's automatic to them. Instinct. You can't teach some of that stuff. Now, the reason why for me, Savion Williams will be a great pick. So what do we say about Ted McMillan? People say he has great hands. You can teach great hands. You can. You can. You can teach hands. Unless your hands just buttery broke, you can teach hands. I've done it. You can teach hands. You can teach them. Route running, very teachable. You can teach it. You can teach it. I've done it. You can teach route running. You can teach all that stuff. You can teach all, the jab step. I mean, you'd be surprised what you can teach people. But again, there's a reason why coaches get excited when they get a kid that's big and can run fast, because you can't teach size and speed. You can't teach that stuff. You can't. Timothy Govan, he says Savion Williams and Dante Thornton Jr. by the end of the third. I just mentioned Dante. He's another big kid, 6'5", and what jumps off the field with him is speed. So you think about Ted McMillan now. You think about Ted. He's a pure wide receiver. He's not going to outrun anybody. You got to understand that's what you're getting with Ted McMillan. You're getting a technician, probably more of a technician than the rest of those guys. You're getting a technician. But understand, I just think when you get the guy to say he's going to be the number 2, I just think he needs to be explosive. If anybody think about when the Cowboys went and got Alvin Harper in the first round to go along with Dez Bryant, you know what we noticed about Alvin Harper immediately? He was explosive. Alvin Harper was explosive. I just don't remember him doing a whole lot of stuff other than running down the field and just catching the ball over people and outrunning them. He was a great compliment to Michael Irvin, who was actually sneaky fast himself. Football speed, route running, tough across the middle. That was Michael Irvin. Alvin Harper, down the field. Down the field. He was the guy that could clear it out and go down the field. Ted McMillan again. We're going to have to understand that we get Ted McMillan what he is. Ted McMillan is a big guy. He's going to be a chain mover. He will be a chain mover, no doubt about it. He's not going to outrun a lot of guys, but he's going to be great in the end zone. When you want to throw those corner routes you were trying to throw to Brandon Cooks, they're going to look a little bit different to Ted McMillan. Those corner routes you were trying to throw to CeeDee Lamb, you got a lot more options now because he can go up and get those in the corner, or maybe he can go get those ones across the goalpost back there in the middle where Dak now don't have to throw in between linebackers and safeties and, defensive backs. Now Dak can just say, I can throw it up at the camera. I just throw it up at the camera. I throw it up at the bottom of the goalpost almost. Ted McMillan go up and get it. But again, we got to understand what he is if we get him. He's going to be a chain mover. He'll probably help you in the red zone for sure. But again, if you're going to be looking for explosive plays, I'm not sure that's going to be Ted McMillan. I'm not sure that's going to be Ted McMillan. Just based on the tape we've seen. I just don't think that's going to be Ted McMillan. Jacob said double up on the 2 Iowa State receivers. Dylan Sampson running back in the 5th round. Yeah, I think any of these top 10 guys are going to be great. Ice Cole, he said facts. I'm just telling you. Oh, Burden is a 5'10 guy. Gotcha. Now, that's why I don't have him. Okay, I see why Daniel is saying Dez is 6'2". But he still reminds me of Dez Bryant. Just his overall aura reminds me of Dez Bryant. But, again, I'm just telling you where I am on this. Emeka Egbuka, Ted McMillan is probably going to be a no-brainer if he's there. But I would get Emeka because I'm just not sure Ted's going to be there. I would get Emeka. And then if I'm the Cowboys, I got to go get Savion Williams in the 3rd if I can. I would try to get Savion Williams in the 3rd. I'm telling you, whoever gets Savion Williams this year, watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. Savion Williams, whatever team gets him this year, watch how much you're going to see his name when you're watching. We're going to be watching the Cowboys game, and we're going to get there's an NFL break. It's going to be Savion Williams. Savion Williams is a grown man. I'm sorry. Savion Williams is a grown man. And I really do wish the Cowboys would really consider getting him. I do. Greg said he believes that they're going to go get Genty, Hampton at 12. I believe the Cowboys will draft running back at 12 and wide receiver at 44. Man, let me tell you something. I'm one of these people, Gregory. I will not be mad if the Cowboys go get Savion Williams in the 2nd round. I will not be mad. Now, I do think Genty will not be there at 12. I just can't see the scenario where Genty is there in 12. Especially after they keep showing all these pictures of him with his shirt off. This dude Genty going to be top 6 regardless now because of his physique. So Genty, I can't see him going to the boys. I can't. Yeah, Burden, Mike McCain, you know what? I think we may try to look at some Burden tape tomorrow on Saturday. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We'll look at some Burden tape. But Burden, now from what I was told, Mike, you got to go back and look at the 2023 Burden. Something happened to where he couldn't do what he needed to do this year. I mean, in 2024, go back and look at the 2023 tape from what I hear. C. Burleson, what's going on? He said Burden don't fit with Dak. Yeah, if he's 5'10", he definitely don't fit. Yeah, if he's 5'10", he don't fit. I hadn't even looked at his measurements. Now, I'll be honest with you, because I hadn't been looking at Luther Burden III like that. I got my mind set on a certain I just have my mind set on 3 to 4 receivers. Ted McMillan, Egbuka, Dante Thornton, Savion Williams. Those are just the 4 wide receivers to me that's been standing out in my mind. So I'm guilty too. I have not looked at Burden. Maureen, what's going on? I still think Dante Thornton Jr. will take the top off defenses. No doubt. Maureen, no doubt. He will take the top off of defenses. No doubt. Quentin said he don't like Burden III. I've heard other people say that too. The 70s fan. Hey, you know what's funny, 70s fan? Do you remember when I was talking about this early on the channel? when I was saying that I was just waiting to hear Deion Sanders sign a long deal with Colorado because I think that's some of what it was about. He got the deal. Yep, got the 5-year deal. Now he's making $10 million a year. He's in the top 10 highest paid coaches, which I think he deserves it, just simply based on what he's already done at Colorado. Because a lot of people don't understand in college football, it's not just about wins, even though he's won since he's been there. College football is big money. College football is big money. It is. It's big money. I mean, all the way from the TV money, the school enrollments, the all the jersey sales and all the team stuff they sell and the TV money. Oh my gosh. I mean, college is huge money. I mean, sponsors, boosters, huge, huge money. And when you think about what Deion has done for Colorado, that $10 million a year is a pitch in the bucket for the kind of money that he's bringing them. And I think he's going to continue to win with the quarterback that he has now, so we're going to see. See, Burleson, he wants a young Gallup-type wide receiver for Dak. And it probably, and when you think about that, that's definitely not McMillan, for sure. That's probably more of a, I don't know, Savion Williams is way better than Gallup to me. Savion Williams is going to be different. Savion going to be different if he gets to the Cowboys. Anybody else? Todd Church, I heard about the hands. But you can teach hands. I've done it. You can teach hands, Ty. You can teach that for sure. You can teach that. But what you can't teach, size, speed, vision, instincts, some of that stuff right there is a little harder. Daniel M, if the board goes edge in round 1, running back in round 2, wide receiver in round 3, then I can see your point. Man, let me tell you something. Edge in round 1. I've heard some people talking about that too. Now, let me tell you, Daniel M, why, like for me, because defensive players take longer to develop. I would much rather get those players if they're available in free agency. This is why if I'm the Cowboys, rather than going and drafting a cornerback, you went out and got Kyer Elam. Great move. If I need a cornerback, I'm going to get Asante Samuels. Why would I get a cornerback in this draft and waste a draft pick that I can easily fill in free agency, and it probably won't cost me a lot either? I would go get Asante Samuel Jr. There's, and I say there's no reason, Daniel Lynn, but there must be a reason they haven't done it. Why waste a draft pick there? I'll tell you another thing. Why I wouldn't go for an edge rusher, and especially in the first, I would not go for an edge rusher in the first round. Why? Go get Trey Hendrickson. $8 million. It's a $21 million for this. It's a $21 million year for 1 year, $8 million guaranteed. So I would get Trey Hendrickson. 35 sacks in the last 2 seasons. Trey Hendrickson. I would literally go get Trey Hendrickson. And then that would be another position that I wouldn't have to deal with in the draft. If there's something that you want to load up on in the draft, if you can take care of that defense for the most part in the free agency portion, man, the skill positions, they translate better to the NFL than a lot of other positions. In particular, the number one position that transcends well, running back. Number 2, top end wide receivers. They translate pretty good. If you can get one of the top 5 wide receivers, they're going to translate extremely well. Extremely well. And again, and as much as people don't have Savion Williams, I was looking at some stuff on him this morning. That's why I already got it pulled up over here. I was looking at Savion Williams this morning. But when you look at the wide receiver prospects, it's crazy to me when you think about, let's see, Savion Williams, I think, has moved all the way up to 12. So Savion Williams, when you look over here, Savion Williams is the number 12 ranked wide receiver. Now, y'all tell me. I'm just telling you by what I've seen on tape, the measurables, and the things I read in the bio. Y'all tell me. Let's see. Savion Williams at number 12. I'm taking him over Isaiah Bond. I'm taking him over Ellick. I'm taking him over Jack Beck. A lot of people have talked about Jack Beck. I'm taking him over Jack Beck. I'm taking him over Jalen Royals. I'm taking him over Jalen Noel. I'm taking him over Trey Harris. I'm taking him over Jaden Higgins. In my opinion, he top 5. I mean, Savion Williams is top 5. I would take him before Jaden Higgins. The only ones I would even consider, Micah, Tet, Golden, they got him listed at 6 feet. Golden and Luther, I'm putting them behind Savion Williams on my list. So for me, Savion Williams is a top 5 wide receiver with a huge upside, with an absolute huge upside. I would pick him over those guys. Ken Armstrong, you talking about Burton III? You talking about he's a Miles Armstrong? Mike McCain, you need to have a 6'5" wide receiver. That's it. There it is. That's where he's going to help you. Dallas was bad at that last year. Yes, 50-50. And you know what's so crazy, Mike McCain? You get a 6'5" wide receiver, it's not even 50-50. It's not even 50-50. You got a 6'5" wide receiver, probably like a 60-40, 70-30. If you can get it up high enough, because most cornerbacks in this league, I'm telling you, these guys are not tall. Not by these type of standards. Not by 6'4", 6'5". They're not like that. Yeah, they're not like that. So these are the type of wide receivers that I want for Dak Prescott. I really do want them to consider. If you don't get Ted McMillan, because it seemed like they want Ted McMillan, and he, like I said, he's knocked some points off that 40. I don't think they've updated it. But Matthew Golden is extremely fast. But let me tell you, when you look at the tape on Savion Williams, this dude don't look like he's running a 4.48 to me on the field. And when you look at what they're saying about him on his bio, man, I don't understand why teams are not salivating at this. I do not understand why they are not salivating. I mean, the scouting report on this guy is crazy. Raw physical talent jumps off the tape with Williams. Hands down. Fact. When you look at Savion Williams, all you see is like, this dude is explosive. When he get the ball in his hand, it's like you expect something to happen. I would really like for the Cowboys to get Savion Williams. But again, Ted McMillan is a technician. But this draft, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be fun when we watch it together. It's going to be so exciting because I'm just telling us. I just think some people are going to shake this draft up and get some people that no one expected. They are. But I think Dak Prescott is very excited. I think Dak Prescott is very excited because he knows the Cowboys are going to go in this doggone draft and get him some players. They do. I mean, I think he knows this. I think he knows they're going to go into this draft and get him some players. Torres Carson, what's up? C-Base, what's going on with you? Hey, C-Base, don't worry, they're going to get in that 4th round. The question is, how are they going to do it? Now, again, if Tet, and if this is even if they have their minds on Tet, they may just have their mind set. I mean, we don't really know who they have their mind set on. But let's say they have their mind set on Savion Williams. The Cowboys could literally draft back and get Savion Williams. They could. They could easily go back and get Savion Williams. And then get themselves back in the 4th. But they are going to get back in that 4th. I guarantee you they do. Robert Dudley said natural ability and great work ethic. Wide receiver and running back. Yeah, for sure. Andrew, what's going on? Oh, in my Terrell Owens voice. That's my quarterback. Yes, sir. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, Dudley said some players on a different level. They are. They are. You got to have heart. Emmitt Smith had a lot of heart. No one ever thought he was going to be what he is. Had a lot of heart. And that's why I say, when you start thinking about, catching the ball, stuff like that, you can teach this stuff. C-Base is saying, focus and discipline to learn hands, accuracy, and placement, same as route running. And I agree with you. He said, can be taught, must be teachable. That's it. Savion Williams, to me, has a very high ceiling. Very high ceiling. Very high ceiling. Robert Dudley, there it is in intangibles. And this dude, Savion Williams, he jumps. When you watch him, he jumps off the tape. When I look at Ted McMillan, this is no shade on Ted McMillan. But when I look at Ted McMillan, I go, oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a good wide receiver. Yeah, good. Great. Like some of the stuff he does. But when I saw Savion Williams, I said, whoa. This dude is doing some things other than what you think the wide receiver should do. The running ability. The versatility. Direct snaps. Reminded me of Deebo Samuel. Also can throw the ball down the field. Now you got that play in your back pocket. Once every 2 to 3 games or once a game, you will always have teams on the lookout for that. It's just another thing that opens up your offense. So I just think he's one of these guys you can bring him in and he can immediately start doing stuff for you. Immediately start doing stuff for you. Yeah, CeeDee dangerous. He just needs a wide receiver too to offset his double teams. And I think Savion Williams will do that. Yeah, CeeDee is him. Yeah, Ken Armstrong. Ted is Miles Austin. You know what? Man, that boy Miles Austin for what was it, 2 seasons? Man, that boy Miles Austin for 2 seasons was crazy. Man, Miles Austin for about 2 to 3 seasons was crazy, boy, until them doggone hamstrings and them Kardashians got a hold of him. Yeah, Lamb is a yards after the catch monster. Now, the thing with McMillan is if he goes deep, you got to understand, those are going to be jump balls because he's not going to run. He's not going to outrun a lot of people. Now, again, I know this is not going to sit well with some people, but I'm not going to be surprised when we start talking about the veteran, when we start talking about the veteran wide receivers. I'm not ruling out Tyler Lockett. I'm not. What's going on, Ice Cold Cowboy? Angry Cowboys fan, what's going on? Yeah, Sanders got the bag, and he deserved it. Like I said, man, the stuff that he brings to Colorado, man, $10 million ain't nothing for what they paying for what they getting with this dude. He getting a lot, man. He is definitely getting a lot. All right, guys. But again, Dak is back. And that kind of moves us a little bit into the draft because we're talking about the players that I want the Cowboys to get for Dak Prescott. But now let's move into Micah Parsons' contract.
Yes! Here we go!
Man, this thing with Micah Parsons' contract. Y'all gonna call me a prophet before it's over. I was saying this stuff when no one liked it, and I'm still saying it and no one likes it. This was the very reason I didn't want to hear none of this talk from Micah Parsons talking about, yeah, man, I don't have to be the highest paid and blah, blah, blah. And then I've been hearing, the hold up on the Micah Parsons contract is the agent. I said this before, I'll say it again. Micah Parsons was saying one thing, but I said it clearly. I'm very interested to know what is his agent saying. Because if I would have been his agent, I would have been telling him to please stop discussing your contract in the court of public opinion. Let me work out your contract. That's what you hired me for. And again, when you start talking about there's no difference between $30 and $40 million, you're not thinking and understanding you're a brand. There's no difference in 30 and 40 million. I'm never going to say that. But again, if I was going to say there was no difference in 30 and 40 million, okay, if you're a one-man band, if you are a one-man band, you could say that. You're no longer a one-man band when you become a brand. You're not a one-man band. You're not. You're not a one-man band because I'm pretty sure his agent was telling him, Micah, there is a difference between $30 and $40 million because you got to pay me. There are people you have on your payroll when you become Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, Josh Allen. There are people on your payroll. It just is what it is. So when you start talking about there's no difference between 10 and 30 and 40 million, man, you're not thinking about the big picture, brother. You're a brand. And it's not your job to be managing the salary cap. That's not your job. You let the Cowboys, you let them manage the salary cap. Because Micah going to eat them words. I promise you he going to eat those words. Well, you know what they say. When you have the highest paid player, you can't have no players around him. You're going to eat those words. Let me show you what they're reporting now, and we'll see if this all comes true. I am very interested to see what he turns out to get, because now y'all already know how I think. This is why I didn't want him running around having this kind of talk about his money in the first place, bro. Man, be quiet. Go get your money, man. Go get your money. You let the Cowboys worry about what they're going to pay you and how do they fit all these players up under the salary cap. Bro, that's not your job. You let them deal with that stuff. You let your agent, who you paid to represent you, you let your agent take care of your paycheck. That's what you're paying him for. And so now the more time goes on, Micah Parsons hasn't been signed. Now there's a story out here, and it's being reported by Calvin Watkins. Some people probably think Calvin Watkins does not like. Let me see. I want to pull up the right story. There's a couple of stories on this already. Here it is right here. Calvin Watkins is actually the one that's reporting this. And I'm pretty sure people are going to be calling Calvin Watkins a hater before it's all said and done. But I don't think he's a hater. I just think he's just reporting what's out there. Now, I did a video on this even before I saw this article. And the video I put out is the Cowboys might overpay for Micah Parsons. I think they are. Because they waited too late to pay Micah Parsons. It's not about Micah Parsons' performance and all this stuff. It is simply because the Cowboys have waited too late to pay Micah Parsons. And so when you look over here, it says, look, Micah Parsons' $200 million Cowboys price tag revealed in contract update. Jerry Jones seems to be fine with waiting to pay his star players, but the Dallas Cowboys' nonchalance could have them paying $200 million to extend Micah Parsons. I did this video a week before this. Now, a lot of people get in their feelings when you start talking truth because they think you don't like Micah Parsons. This isn't about Micah Parsons. The Cowboys have done this. The Cowboys have done this to themselves. It says both Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb were due for contract extensions last summer. Lamb held out until after the preseason when the sides finally came to terms, and Prescott was set to open the season without his finalized before the Cowboys got it done hours before kickoff in week 1. Micah Parsons was begging the Cowboys to do his deal early, to do it before Max Crosby, to do it before Daniil Turner, to do it before Myles Garrett. He was begging them to do it and was saying before those contracts, he didn't have to be the highest paid player. Well, the problem was Nick Bosa was the highest paid player at the time of, I think it's like $34 million per year, $80 million, something like that guaranteed. Well, because the goalpost got moved by Crosby, Daniil Turner, and now Myles Garrett. Well, to say you don't have to be the highest paid player now it can put you with $40 million. So that is literally $10 million that the Cowboys could have saved, and that could have been another player. But Micah Parsons said he didn't see any difference between 30 and 40 million. I just thought that was foolish talk. Because there's not a wealthy person in the world who's going to tell you there's no difference between. I mean, I don't know who these people are who talk to these young men. And even Josh Allen, don't let him fool you. Josh Allen said, I wanted to help the team under the salary cap. So if I could leave $5 million off, man, stop it. You got the most guaranteed money of any player in history. Stop it. Josh Allen left no crumbs on the table. He took the money the exact way I've been screaming that if I was one of these guys, I would not be concerned with these dumb, he signed a $250 million deal. That's not the part you need to be listening for. What's the guaranteed money? And so when I started hearing Micah Parsons wants a $200 million deal, so all I'm waiting on, what is the guaranteed money? But they're already saying that this contract is being pushed into the $200 million range. It says, according to Calvin Watkins, okay, let me see. I just seen something come up on X about Ian Rappaport. Oh, okay. Stephon Diggs got signed by the New England Patriots. Okay, we already knew that. Parsons is expected to ask for $200 million contract extension. By far the most for a non-quarterback. Now, y'all already know how I tell you. Hey, man, get your money. Let me read this super chat real quick. My man, Skeptical Fan, what's going on? He said, director's chair with the words on set. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, my brother. Again, someone asked, is Micah Parsons worth $200 million? I'm not sure if it's a matter of if he's worth $200 million. Cowboys did this to themselves. So now they have to answer the question of, we caused this, so are we going to go ahead and eat and pay this contract? This is crazy to me. This is absolute crazy to me. $200 million. Now, again, I want to see the back end. I think they said also there's been a disconnect on years. I'm not sure which one is wanting it, but I think that someone is wanting a 5-year deal. This is why all this talk that Micah Parsons was doing, I'm not listening to none of this. I want to be a Cowboy for life. Very rare. Especially in this climate. And, you think about the Michael Irvins of the world. Michael Irvin actually didn't have a long career. You think about the Emmitt Smiths of the world. Even Emmitt Smith eventually got out of here. To say you want to be a Cowboy for life, boy, that's a tall glass. That's a tall glass. That's typically reserved for a quarterback because most players don't last that long. And here's the reason why. When you start dealing with paying a player $200 million, he don't even touch the football. You're paying $200 million for a player that don't even touch the football. What, he may touch it 4 times a season? Strip, sack, fumble? Maybe an interception? Maybe a fumble recovery? How many times is a player like Micah Parsons going to get in the end zone? How many times? And if you don't get him no help, he's going to be the same way. He's going to be just like Dak Prescott on the other side. You're going to be paying him $200 million. But if you don't get him some other help on the other side, and this is one of the reasons why he said he would take less money, go get Trey Hendrickson. Put him on the other side. Get someone to put on the other side. Because if you're going to put all this money into Micah Parsons, well, you're going to have to depend on some rookie. Dante Fowler is only going to be here maybe for a year or two. The Cowboys did it to themselves in this. That's all I can tell you. They did it to themselves. But $200 million to me for a player that don't touch the ball is insane. It's insane to me. And I'm not knocking Micah Parsons, but he's an undersized defensive end. This is insane to me. And when I see people saying stuff like he deserves this amount of money, I'm not saying what he deserves or what he doesn't deserve. I mean, you deserve whatever somebody's going to pay you. You're worth what you think you're worth, and you're worth what somebody will pay you. So far be it from me to be hating on the man getting his money. Get your money. That's why I was saying from the get-go, don't do this type of talking. You let them manage all this stuff, because if you're saying there's no difference between 30 and 40 million, then my expectation is for you, when I start hearing about your contract, that you're signing for $30 million. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking different. But if somebody tell me there's no difference between $300 and $400, I'm giving them $300. Because in my mind, that's more money I can spread around and give to somebody else that might need it. Okay, you said there's no difference between $300 and $400, I'm going to give you $300. Now we've heard stuff like Micah Parsons said, if I get $40 million, I'll be one of the happiest players in the world or something like that. This sounds in total opposition. This is why you don't say that stuff. This is why you don't say that stuff. So you don't have to hear people coming back saying, I thought you said there was no difference between 30 and 40 million, because some people are already saying it. You don't have to hear people saying that stuff and saying that you can't have players around you. Well, you're going to have players around you, and you're talking about being the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. This is crazy to me. Cowboys, this is dumb. This is dumb. It is. Nisa said Micah didn't realize Uncle Jerry was going to give him the same treatment. Nisi, this man begged to get his contract done and still didn't get it done. He offered a discount, still didn't get. I don't understand Jerry and them. This is, to me, is crazy. Quinn, what's going on? Appreciate that super chat. Quinn said, great show. He can practice every day and twice on Sundays. If you don't go get better weapons, it does not matter. That's it. This is why they got to clean up in this draft. Quinn with another super chat. Quinn said, don't hate on Dak. He does this every year, drama. Now, Quinn, but you know what has to be different? It's exactly what you said. It's the Cowboys' responsibility now. They got to make this year different. They have to go get him some weapons. And it's the same thing. Guess what, Quinn? People not giving Micah Parsons this same type of energy, but I'm giving him the same type of energy. People be hating on Dak for 12-win seasons. No 2 playoff wins. Well, what about Micah Parsons? What has he done in the playoffs? What has he done in the big games? Where's his signature game? This is no knock on Micah Parsons, but he gets credit for the same stuff that Dak Prescott gets knocked for. But again, he's the same way. if the Cowboys, which I do think they have gotten him some help, I'm not sure if it's that type of help, but they've gotten him some help. I think he needs some more. I do. I think they need some more help at nose tackles. It's not that Osa's not good. I want to see Mozzie take that next step. But I think they still need another one in that rotation. I think Solomon can kind of get in there. But I really want to see them get Micah Parsons more help too, on the defensive side of the ball. Because if not, he's going to continue to get double teamed because if no one else can get there, a lot of people don't understand that double team stat. There's a reason why you're double teaming Micah Parsons. He's the only effective player on the defense. So if he's the only effective player, then why not dedicate 2 players to him? Because everyone else, you can do it one-on-one. I would love to know the stat on CeeDee Lamb getting double covered. Because every team that plays the Dallas Cowboys, what do? They double cover CeeDee Lamb. We could walk around saying CeeDee Lamb, he's the most double-covered wide receiver in the league. Can we add some context to it? He's the only wide receiver the team has. So when teams play us, it's simple. When you play a team with versatile weapons, you can't commit 2 players to 1 player. Not on a team that has multiple weapons. Give me a team with 1 weapon. So you think I'm stupid? Why do I need to play zone against a team with 1 weapon? No, we're gonna commit 2 players to that 1 player. We remove him from the game, and they have nothing else. It's the same thing they do on the defense. I'm just saying, this thing with Micah Parsons is crazy to me. But I think the Cowboys want him to be the highest paid. I think they want him to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Jerry loves this stuff. He loves this stuff. He's doing it on purpose. There's no other excuse for it. They're doing it on purpose. They went after Oso Digizua. Now, the difference is, I think, though, with Oso Digizua, they actually had to sign Oso Digizua. In their mind, with Micah Parsons, he's already signed. Micah Parsons is already signed. Micah Parsons just needs an extension. So in their minds, they're like, okay, this is not a big deal. But it is a big deal because the price is going to continue to soar. And the other part of this, a person with knowledge of his thinking said Parsons hasn't decided whether he will report to voluntary workouts, which start April 7th. I got a video. I did it yesterday, and I was very hesitant to release it. But my question with the Cowboys, this is coming up April the 7th. My issue is, I wonder if the Cowboys may be testing Micah Parsons to see if he's going to come to voluntary without a deal. I don't know what the purpose of it would be because I think they're still going to pay him. But it says in the last 2 years, Parsons has been an infrequent visitor to voluntary offseason workouts, Watkins wrote. I just wonder if the Cowboys are trying to wait and see if he's going to come to the voluntaries, to see if he's going to commit to the team. I just wonder. I don't know what people are saying it's the agent. Let me tell y'all this part too. I didn't say this in the video. I'm still debating on if I'm going to release. But let me tell you this part too. At the end of the day, people said Micah Parsons' agent is the holdup. Y'all do know Micah Parsons' agent. Y'all do know Micah Parsons' agent works for him, right? He works for him. Micah don't work for him. He works for Micah Parsons. Now, he knows the contract stuff better than Micah Parsons. That's why I kept saying he shouldn't have been talking. Just let your agent do all the talking. But at the end of the day, Micah Parsons can make the decision on if, hey, man, I'll take less money. He can make that decision. But if I'm his agent, I'm fighting for every dime. Because the more you make, the more I make. But this is dumb to me. It's dumb. Cowboys just costing themselves money. Michael Wright said he just watched film on Savion. He's like Debo. Yeah, he's amazing, bro. You hit it right on the head. He's amazing. D-Block, you're right. He's been doing this for years. Timothy said, Michael been a man of your words. Just take less money so Jerry can get you some help. Hendrickson, Timothy. I would go get Hendrickson. I would. Let me show you. Let me see if I can put this on the screen real quick. I got something on Henderson I'm going to show you here in just a moment. And it is incredible when you look at Henderson. This dude, Henderson. Make sure here. All right. This dude, Hendrickson, guys. Hendrickson. And I'm going to have to pull it up. I thought my other source was working. My other video source is not working. Let me pull up Henderson for you. Let me take Trey Hendrickson. And no one's talking about this. This dude in 2 years, at least I haven't heard anybody talking about it. But this dude in 2 seasons, guys, Hendrickson has 17 sacks. Look at this. This is him in 2024. Trey Hendrickson in 2024, 17 and a half sacks. 2023. Trey Hendrickson. Look at this. Can somebody explain to me how in the world do you get 35 sacks in 2 seasons? You get 35 sacks in 2 seasons? And the Cincinnati Bengals? I don't understand it. I do not understand this. Trey Hendrickson, 17 and a half sacks. So this tells me one thing for sure. I'm putting this dude in on passing downs. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He gets to the quarterback, guys. He gets to the quarterback. I think the Cowboys should bring him in. But again, man, this thing with Micah Parsons' contract, it just burns me up. I'm not mad about Micah Parsons getting his money. I'm mad at the reason why he's going to get the money. Because the doggone Dallas Cowboys just waited too late to get this dude paid. It don't make sense to me. It just don't make sense. Quinn Warner, appreciate that super chat. Quinn says, y'all know Jerry Jones' son is delusional garbage. Man, you know what, Quinn? They've been moving so good in this offseason. This is the only part that is mind-boggling to me. But it's not mind-boggling to me from this perspective. They want Micah Parsons to get this money. They want him to get this money. Because it becomes a talking point. It becomes a huge talking point. It does. It becomes a huge talking point. And so it just don't make sense to me. Ice cold. Now, this is the part that, now I'll tell you this part. I'll be shocked. If he gets $200 million guaranteed, I can't see it. I can't see it. If I'm the Joneses, I'll be honest with you. If Micah Parsons wants $200 million guaranteed, I'm trading him. I'm trading him right now. There is no way I would give Micah Parsons as a player that does not touch the ball. I would not ever. And I don't know an edge rusher. Let me show you something. Let me show you something ice cold why I don't think this is going to happen. The highest fully guaranteed contract is $88 million. The highest total guaranteed is $123 million. There is no way the Cowboys give Micah Parsons $200 million fully guaranteed. There is no way. There is no way. No way possible. I shouldn't say no way possible because it is. If they do it, they're foolish. They're absolutely foolish. Micah Parsons, the highest contract is $160. Okay. Go $170. Average per year, okay, go $42. Total guaranteed, okay, go 100. Let me show you just what they did, what Cleveland did. Cleveland did exactly what the Cowboys should have did. Cleveland looked at Nick Bosa and said, hold on a second. So Nick Bosa makes $34 million a year. So we'll give Miles an extension and make it $40 million a year. Total guaranteed, we'll give him $123, while Nick Bosa is making $122.5. Then in the fully guaranteed arena, we'll give him the same amount, $88 million guaranteed. So at the end of the day, when you look at both of these contracts, the only thing you need to put in your mind is $88 million. And notice this, Nick Bosa got $88 million. Myles Garrett got $88.8 million. You don't think they were playing the money game like, okay, we'll go above Nick Bosa, but we won't go too far above. For the Cowboys to go $200 million fully guaranteed right here, I wouldn't do it. If I'm the Cowboys, I wouldn't do that. If his agent can get it. I wouldn't do it. That's too much. Now that for me, Daniel M., I'm drawing the line $200 million guaranteed. Not for a player. Not for a player that does not touch the ball. Not for a player that is not just utterly dominant to where I've seen it in the playoffs. I've seen it in the big games. I'm not doing it. It's too much. 70s fan says if there's no difference between 30 and 40 million, top defensive end makes 40 million and top linebacker probably makes 30 million. The difference is position. Yep. Exactly. And the Cowboys have let that position rise in money. But again, well, the contract for me is simple. I don't even understand why the Cowboys have to go to $200 million. Myles Garrett is at $160. Nick Bosa's at $170. And again, this stuff right here doesn't even matter. This is the total value of the contract, which you will probably not see. And this is why I always laugh. I was laughing when Micah Parsons said he wants to be a Cowboys for life. Bro, you will not be a Cowboy for life signing $200 million deals. No, you won't be a Cowboy for life. That will not happen. When you sign these type of contracts right here, this is what you need to focus on, the fully guaranteed money. And before you get that fully guaranteed money, they go to you and they extend those deals out so they can push money further on down, for money on down the road. So we're going to see. But this thing with Micah Parsons is out of hand, man. I think the Cowboys want it to be out of hand. That's my opinion. If they didn't want it to be out of hand, it wouldn't be out of hand. I'm not blaming Micah Parsons. This is a Cowboys problem. It's their job. It's their job to do deals. It's their job with the salary cap. All this stuff is their deals. It's their job. It's their job, not Micah Parsons. Yes, sir. Gene Martz, he said hit that like button. I agree with him. Hit that like button. Mike McCain, It's all lies. He took a page right out of Myles Garrett's playbook. I heard they were talking a lot before Garrett got his contract, so I'm pretty sure that's the playbook. What a shame. Yep. And again, Mike, I caught a lot of flack. I wouldn't believe him for a second when Micah Parsons was talking all that high paid. It don't matter if it's 34. Man, why are you taking shots at the quarterback like that? And now here you come as a non-quarterback. Man, $200 million guaranteed. Let me tell you something right now. If Micah Parsons gets $200 million fully guaranteed as a defensive end, the Cowboys are foolish. The Cowboys are foolish. That is, and I'm not saying on Micah Parsons' part, hey, bro, if you can get it, get it. I'm not going to hate on you for getting it. But I am going to hate on the Cowboys for giving it. I'm absolutely going to hate on them for giving it because they didn't have to give it. They don't have to give it. And they didn't even have to have this high. Micah Parsons, at least by all account and purposes from what he was saying, he would have been content being right up under Nick Bosa. But now we're going to have to put him up there above Myles Garrett. And you don't have to. But again, that $200 million talk, that's crazy talk to me. I'm not giving him $200 million guaranteed. C-Base, you got a point. He says it's effed up now. You pay weapons big money, not just everybody at every position because the market dictates whatever. So C-Base, you think about what happens. Similar to what happens in dangerous economies. When you eradicate the middle class. Well, that's what kind of makes the country function when you have a middle class. What sends a country into poverty is when you have the rich and the poor, and there's no middle class. The economics are bad. The prices are high. The rich get richer. The poor get poor. The poor can barely eat. The rich are living lavish. And the problem is you become a very weak society like that. You need the middle class because the poor can work their way towards the middle class. The middle class is where everyone kind of sits there and work together and create commerce, create the society, and all those different things. And it's the same thing with teams. This is why it's so hard to build teams in this league. It's so hard to build teams in this league because you're going out and getting the big-time free agents. You get these young rookie players. You put them kind of like on a 4 to 5 year clock. And then somewhere there in the middle, the guys who were drafted before them, they're not going to be guys that's probably going to be there 6, 7, 8 years, kind of being the middle class of your team, the mid-tier players that keeps your team strong from year after year after year. No, you lose them. You lose them. Because once their contract comes up, if they're doing pretty good, they wind up leaving your team a lot of times. See what happened to the Eagles this year? You start losing these players. And so the middle class part of a team gets hard to maintain. And so this is why you start seeing every year teams come out, they load up. They load up and get the best team they can get for 2 to 3 years. And then if they don't win the chip, then they have to start offloading all those players they paid all that money to. And this is one of the reasons why the Dallas Cowboys, no, they're not going to do $200 million fully guaranteed. I could see $100 million guaranteed. $200 million fully guaranteed for a non-quarterback would be ludicrous, and the Cowboys would be crazy to do it. They would be crazy to do it. And that is a crazy precedent to set for the market. No, I wouldn't do it. And if they were demanding, I'm just telling you, no hate on Micah Parsons. But if Micah Parsons and his agent was requesting from me $200 million guaranteed, I make people head spin how quick I'd be trading Micah Parsons. and there's no way I'm paying a non-quarterback $200 million. Ain't no way. Not guaranteed. What up, Blue Star? Yes, sir. Happy Friday. Yes, sir. God bless us to have another week. He said, but man, have you seen Dak Prescott? Man, we were watching it at the beginning, Blue Star. We spent about 30 minutes just letting that play on replay. Yes, sir. He looks a lot healthier. I thought he looked a lot more muscular rather than slimmer. But, hey, either way, you're right. He looked healthier. Yeah, I loved everything I saw. Dak Prescott's looking pretty good, man. Looking pretty good. I'm ready. Mike McCain said trade him in his $25 million right now and get the draft pick from Tennessee and go get Abdul Carter since everybody considered them the same person. We wouldn't be losing nothing. Mike McCain. Micah Parsons, get all the money you want. Dallas Cowboys, if they pay him $200 million guaranteed, they're stupid. That's crazy. $200 million. Hey, Reginald said $200 million barely touched the ball is real as a MF. He said you own it today. Hey, Reginald, that's crazy. You might, in a great season, a defensive end might touch the ball 4 times. $200 million guaranteed. Ain't no way. I'm trading that joker. Ain't no way. I don't think the Cowboys going to do it. Ice cold. Billionaires don't care about $10 million. Ask them. Ask them. Ain't no billionaire going to tell you he don't care about $10 million. He ain't going to tell you that. That's why he's a billionaire. Ice cold. That's why he's a billionaire. Be around people with money enough. You'll see why they got a lot of money. They don't say stuff like that. Man, they be penny pinching down to the shoes. See, I'm different. I get rich. I just the type of person I am. I'm not gonna be wearing $100 suits. No, I'm wearing $500, $1,000. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be wearing $1,000 suit sometime because I got that kind of money. But go look at guys with money. They don't think like that. They might get one suit to wear everywhere. Everything else, no name brand. House might be real nice. Cars and stuff, don't even care about that stuff. They're not going to drive Bentleys. They're not going to get nice watches and chains and stuff. They're not going to do that. They look at money different. They look at money way, way different. Go find somebody with money. You'll find out real fast on them jokers, man. There's a reason why they got money. They stingy. Drew 912, he said the Cowboys don't pay players who don't perform when it really counts. I tell you what, that $200 million is too rich for my blood. Oh, D-Block, you better believe he is. He about to get the bag, and it's the Cowboys' fault. I'm not mad at him. Because I never believed him when he said, I never believed when he first said that he didn't have to be the highest paid player. I never believed it. I didn't believe it because he's not the one negotiating his contract. I never believed it. I never got hyped up on it because I know how agents think. And agents will tell you behind closed doors, hey, man, you need to be quiet. Let me negotiate your deal. Not only let me take care of you, let me take care of your family down the line. Let me take care of me. I'm your agent. Take care of the people who you're going to have working for you. Nah, I knew that wasn't going to happen. What up, Robert 31? What's going on with you? Ice Cold said, I would like that. Just what does Jones want? Man, I'm telling you, this thing with Micah Parsons is crazy. But again, hey, man, get your money. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not paying it. Especially not no $200 million guaranteed. Shoot, he done. C-Base said franchise him. And the crazy thing is, C-Base, they don't even have to franchise him. He's already signed on that 5th-year option. At least they don't have to franchise him right now. But again, C-Base, I'm just wondering. I'm wondering how far the Cowboys are willing to go with this. Because this isn't just, people say this is his agent that's the holdup. His agent ain't the only holdup. The Cowboys are the holdup too. Because somewhere along the line, the Cowboys must be saying that we're not paying that. Paying that because if they were paying it, then it wouldn't even be a discussion. So it's not just his agent who's the holdup. But I'm telling you this, there is no way I'm paying $200 million for a non-ball dominant player. There's no way. There's no way. D-Block 88, I agree with you. You know, and D-Block, I just be honest, to me, I think you have to be honest. You have to not play with issues like this. If I was a GM, I wouldn't play with issues like this. Micah Parsons would have been signed the moment he told me he would have took less money. I'd have signed him then. I would have signed Micah Parsons before the season was over with last year. I'd have signed Micah Parsons. It wouldn't have been a discussion. I would have signed Micah Parsons. But D-Block, if I did find myself right here, I wouldn't even play with this. If they walked in my office and said, we want Micah Parsons to be $200 million guaranteed, I would literally tell them thank you and get on the phone right then. I would tell his agent right then, tell Micah Parsons to prepare to be somewhere else in 2025. I wouldn't even play. It's just too much money for a player that's $200 million guaranteed is crazy, which I don't think is going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere around 90. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 90 million, 92, 93, 94, 95. But if the Cowboys even hit 100 million guaranteed, when the highest paid, when the most guaranteed right now is 88.8 million, and you go to 100, boy, that's foolishness on your part. That's foolishness on your part. Total guaranteed, I can see them going 130 million. Because there's no point in going any higher than that. What leverage would he have to say, I want to be at 200 million fully guaranteed? There's no leverage there. Robert Dudley, you're right. Dak has always bounced back well. I agree with you. My man Chanel, what's going on? He said he's not worth that to the team for a non-quarterback position. Exactly. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, Chanel. Too much. C-Base. Nobody is talking about this thing with Trey Hendrickson. Man, this dude has 35 sacks in 2 seasons. I'm shocked nobody has traded for him. He's only 30 years old. Look at his contract. He's on the last year of his contract, man. Let me see here. Trey. Look at his contract. This dude's contract is very 21 million. 21 million, 8 million total guaranteed, 8 million fully guaranteed. I just think the Cowboys could pick that up. I think they could easily pick that up. And he would be well worth it. He would be worth it. Man, you put Trey Hendrickson and Micah Parsons on the same field, wouldn't nobody want to see Dallas's defense. They would not want to see Dallas's defense. They wouldn't. It would be total murder out there. Kelvin Hicks, there's talk of trades on Tyreek Hill right now. Man, I saw that. I don't think the Cowboys better afford it. Now, let me tell you about Tyreek Hill. The reason why I just think that would be crazy to do, you're talking about the kind of money you're going to tie up into Tyreek Hill, because the issue with Tyreek Hill is then how long are you going to get him for? How long will you get Tyreek Hill? That becomes the question. And Tyreek Hill, man, I ain't going to lie to you. Tyreek Hill, even though it hadn't happened, it didn't happen in Miami. But Tyreek Hill will typically change up your whole offense with the speed that he has. And that's one of the big things about him. Yeah, that's one of the big things about him. But I would be totally surprised because this dude's contract is insane. The Cowboys not getting him. I can tell you up front, it's all talk. And I can tell you it's all talk based on this. Tyreek Hill's contract is $30 million. He has $54 million guaranteed. No. The Cowboys are not getting Tyreek Hill. It's too much money for Tyreek Hill. And again, when you're talking about Tyreek Hill, in actuality, a team like Kansas City should be looking at Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill is 31 years of age. He's still blazing fast. Tyreek Hill is a win right now wide receiver. Tyreek Hill is the wide receiver you bring in and say, the team is already set. All we need now is a wide receiver that takes us over the top. You're not doing that. You're not bringing in Tyreek Hill if you're the Dallas Cowboys. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, the thing that makes the most sense, the draft. That's what makes sense. You get to have those players for 7 years. That's what makes sense. Tyreek Hill, they're talking, but it'll never happen. Too much money. Chanel said, I want you to envision how Hendrickson would have helped us versus Green Bay. Whoo! Boy, I don't even want to think about it. Chanel, I don't even want to think about it. He equals out that game. Trey Hendrickson would free up Micah Parsons the same way one of these rookie wide receivers is going to free up CeeDee Lamb. And a lot of people keep talking about these receivers, like veteran wide receivers. I'm not disagreeing with you that that the Cowboys could use another veteran, but at the same time, if I'm Jerry Jones, because this is how I'm looking at this if I'm Jerry Jones, who is the number 3 paid wide receiver? Who's the 3rd highest paid wide receiver in the league? Well, it's CeeDee Lamb. And my thoughts are, if I got CeeDee Lamb, he is the veteran wide receiver. He's the veteran wide receiver. So what I need to go with him is just someone who can relieve him of the double teams. That's all I need. And you can get that in the draft. You don't have to go and spend $30 million per season for 2 seasons on Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, 20 million. I'm so glad they didn't do Cooper Kupp. You didn't need to do Cooper Kupp. They don't need that type of money into another wide receiver. No. CeeDee Lamb is 26. By the time CeeDee Lamb's deal is up, he'll be 30 years old. The Cowboys may not want CeeDee Lamb by the time he turns 29, 30. So go in the draft and get you a couple of wide receivers so that as CeeDee Lamb is tapering off, or you can decide we want to keep CeeDee Lamb and we keep him, or we can let CeeDee Lamb go, keep the one we've already developed over the last 4 years, give him the bag, go right back to the draft and do the same thing and just keep on developing. Because somewhere in there, you will also probably have another wide receiver that's developing pretty well too. But again, you can create options for yourself to where you don't have to keep being in the same position. But you just go in the draft. And this is why I think in this draft, the Cowboys need to get 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs. They need to create that depth for themselves. They do. Nisi said the Joneses moved too fast in the offseason, and now they are Woo, girl, you dropping bombs. Now they tired. Michael will get signed 1 minute before the first game of the season. And again, you know what though, Nisi? And I hope the scenario that you're explaining doesn't happen, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the same problem from last year. Micah Parsons, if he doesn't come to the voluntary, if he doesn't come to the mandatory, which is going to cost him money, if he signs the day before the season like Dak Prescott, that means now the defense will be behind, because they're going to plug Micah Parsons in, because we already know what they're going to do. They're going to plug him right in, and it'll be a setback for the defense. It will be an entire setback for the defense, and it'll be a setback for the team again. The Cowboys, this is why I say, for me, I wouldn't even play with this stuff. If you're going to sign Micah Parsons, get it done this weekend. Micah Parsons needs to be at the voluntaries. He does. Man, come on. We already know why it's called voluntary. It's not voluntary because they don't want you to volunteer. It's voluntary because they expect you to volunteer. Period. They expect you to volunteer. They want Micah Parsons to volunteer. And if he's not signed, wow. Wow is all I can say. And then he don't volunteer. They better get it going. They better go ahead and get him signed if they're going to do it. They do. Oh, Chanel, you hitting it on the head. Talking point. The team will tell you they can't afford any more players because of Micah's contract. And this will be the drama they'll create. Now, Chanel, it's kind of strange, isn't it? So what will Micah come out and say after he said, you know what they say when you're the highest paid player, you can't have players around you. So what is he going to say? Because he's the one who said that. And then he will be the epitome of what he said. Because if you pay this man, they've already put themselves in a chokehold. And the crazy thing is, we know they're going to sign Micah Parsons. Everybody knows they're going to sign Micah Parsons. This is the dumb part to me. Man, we know they're going to sign Micah Parsons. It just don't make no sense. It don't. Rennie, what's going on with you? Good to see you in here. Robert M., he said the deadline is already passed for applying the franchise tag, which was March the 4th. See, he's already signed anyway. So the Cowboys not worried about losing him this year. The Cowboys and Micah Parsons will be playing chicken. And Nisi, it is crazy, though, in the grand scheme of things. What you brought up, same thing I've been talking about. Micah Parsons actually thought by being proactive that he was going to avoid the very thing that's happening now. But at the same time, the Cowboys are so crazy when it comes to this stuff. I think they want him to be the highest paid player. I do. I think they want him to be the highest paid player. Timothy Colvin, he said he wants Jerry Jones' job as the general manager. It's sad. It is. Ice cold. It's sad. I'm telling you, I think the Cowboys want him to be the highest paid player. I do. Now, I don't think they're going to give him $200 million guaranteed. I do think the deal's probably going to be, it'll be some crazy astronomical, like worth 180. If they say it's $200 million, it's worth $200 million, it won't be $200 million because the guaranteed money, I can't see him going higher than 90. I can't see him going higher than 95. If the Cowboys go to 100, $12 million more guaranteed over Myles Garrett, they're stupid. That's all I can tell you. They're stupid. It's dumb to set that precedent. 70s fan said, no way. He said, not for a skinny DN. David Everett, we'll do the call-in show tomorrow. How about that? For sure. Chanel, in 4 playoff games, 1 sack. He said, if you don't want to pay someone who does not play well against the run and there's only a difference on 3rd down, let Micah go. Free the player that does not want to be on it. Man, let me tell you something. And we know they're not going to do it. And this is why this is so crazy to me. This is the part that's so crazy to me. But again, it takes 3 to tango. And the reason why I say it takes 3 to tango, Micah Parsons was doing the talking at first. But now his agent is doing the talking. And I'm telling us his agent is saying, no, man, there is a difference. There is a difference. And he's probably telling them, hey, man, this dude here got this and he got this, and you're better than him, so you need to get what you're worth. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. That's all I can tell us. Yep, Robert M31. I said the same thing. His mouth lessen his leverage. Sure, he can hold out, but who really wins? We all know he's getting paid. Let's just hope he doesn't miss time. And that's the part that I'm wondering about. And we'll see. And you know, I understand why guys don't want to show up to voluntaries when there are contracts in the midst, because we saw what has happened in the past. Players come into voluntaries and out there running plays and pop a knee. Now, I would say that would lessen your value, but with the Cowboys, you can get injured and still get paid. So, I mean, we paid Michael Gallup a crazy contract. Coming back off injury, paid Michael Gallup a huge contract. Chanel said for $200 million, I would have gotten Sweat and Hendrickson, and my edges would be set for less than $200 million guaranteed. Facts. I would still, if I was them, I would still try to get Hendrickson. I just think that salary that Hendrickson has is so manageable. I do. I think it's manageable. But again, they're going to pay Micah. And this is the part that's dumb to me. Why wait when you know you're going to do it anyway? Reginald Jackson said, if millionaires don't care about 10 million, then we have disasters in the world. Why don't they ever help? They always ask the poor for relief funds. Yep. Yeah, 10 million matters. It matters, bro. It does. You're right, it does. But again, it is what it is. We're just going to continue to wait. See what happens with Micah Parsons, but this is the kind of stuff that really irks me. Because it's not that we don't think that he's going to get paid, because we know he's going to get paid. Problem is, why don't they go ahead and pay him? All right, guys, let's move to the 5 bubble players. Let's move to the 5 bubble players. And we're hoping that Micah Parsons gets done early next week. And I hope it's not some insane astronomical number, but nothing would surprise me with the Joneses at this point. Let's go to the bubble players. And this is not going to be a long discussion. But you remember I think it was this week, I was talking about 2 players that if I were the Dallas Cowboys, 2 players that I would trade before the draft. One of them is Jalen Tolbert. Because I think the Cowboys should get something for Jalen Tolbert while they can. Because I got a strange feeling. I don't think the Cowboys are going to bring Jalen Tolbert back after this year. I don't think they're going to bring him back. I'm thinking they might be able to get a compensatory pick for him. But at the same time, if I was the Cowboys, I would trade Jalen Tolbert. Another player I would be thinking about trading is Damone Clark. I would be looking at trading him. Well, I came across an article and I thought it was very interesting. The article says 5 Cowboy players, and this is on DallasCowboys.com. 5 Cowboy players who have to fight to keep their job. 5 Cowboy players who have to fight to keep their job. And the first one I thought was very interesting, which it's probably true, but I thought it was very interesting. The first one they have up here is Jonathan Mingo. Yep, I would agree. Cowboys like their draft picks. I have a feeling the Cowboys they want to keep Ryan Flournoy and continue to develop him. But Jonathan Mingo, it says Jerry Jones tried to spin their trade for Jonathan Mingo as a major win for the Cowboys, but after 8 games, it's hard to see how Mingo fits in the future plans. He managed just 5 receptions on 16 targets of 46 yards. See, now this I don't agree with. It was Cooper Rush throwing to Jonathan Mingo. It was Cooper Rush. Not to mention that stale play calling that Mike McCarthy was doing. I just don't think that a wide receiver like Jonathan Mingo, I don't think he fits that stale as toast West Coast offense that Mike McCarthy ran. It says it would be ideal to see how well he fits with Dak. That's what we want to see before giving up on the pick. But the Cowboys need help at wide receiver and are likely to add a starting caliber player in the draft. That will push Mingo down rather than far on the depth chart, making it hard for him to make the 53-man roster. Now, on this point right here, I disagree. Okay, the wide receiver that they draft is going to be the number 2. So let's think about what is Mingo going to be fighting again. Paris Campbell, Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, Ryan Flournoy. I might be missing someone. If Jonathan Mingo cannot rise to at least the 4th spot in that depth chart, well, he don't need to be here. He don't need to be here. If Jonathan Mingo cannot beat out Ryan Flournoy and Jalen Tolbert, he don't need to be here. So I guess he will be playing, but I don't think that it's going to make it hard for him. No, the Cowboys are going to give Jonathan Mingo every opportunity to succeed because according to what they said, they had him at number 2 on the depth chart. I mean, they had him at number 2 as rated as a second-round tender, or second-round draft choice. No, they're going to give Jonathan Mingo every opportunity to succeed. I believe they're going to give him even maybe priority over Ryan Flanoy because they know they're going to keep Ryan Flanoy because we drafted him. But I think Mingo's going to get every opportunity. I think Jerry Jones is very high on Jonathan Mingo. And some were saying that this was the contention also between him and Jerry Jones, between him and Mike McCarthy, Jerry and Mike McCarthy were having issues because Jerry was pushing for Jonathan Mingo to get more involved. But Mike McCarthy play call. Mike McCarthy had the same problem in Green Bay. He couldn't figure out how to get the ball to the weapons. He misused Kevontae Turpin. He's misused any receiver not named CeeDee Lamb. Misused Trey Lance. I mean, Jonathan Mingo is going to have a great opportunity. I believe the Cowboys are going to give him every opportunity. Yep, D-Block, you're right. The Cowboys don't sign him. That's exactly what will happen. No practice. And that is going to be terrible. Again. The Henderson is not a free agent, but the Cowboys can take that deal up and get that trade. Hey, Robert E. Hey, Tobin can kick rocks now. Hey, I'm telling this, man. Jonathan Mingo is going to have every opportunity. If Jonathan Mingo can't beat October, he don't need to be here. He just don't need to be here. Yeah, Bleeding Blue, Dak is one of the bigger quarterbacks in the league. He is. Because as a matter of fact, before Dak Prescott got the ankle injury, there were a lot of cornerbacks and linebackers that were saying that Dak Prescott is bigger than you think he is in person. And a lot of them were saying that Dak Prescott is hard to bring down. And as a matter of fact, if you go back and look at the tape, that was a drop hip tackle that broke Dak Prescott down like that because there was no other way that cornerback was going to be able to bring him down. I mean, other than getting dragged. I mean, he would have at least got him. He would have eventually got him down, but he did that drop hip, and that's how that foot got broke. Mingo is set. He is not on cuff. You tell me what you think, Chanel. I think the Cowboys are going to give him every opportunity. Again, yeah, you're saying it. Yeah, you did not see a true measure of what Mingo can offer. I think they're going to be big on Mingo. I think they're going to give Mingo every opportunity this offseason to become I think they're going to give him an opportunity to become the third wide receiver. And again, this is how I'm looking at it. If Mingo can't beat Tolbert, I don't want him. You can't beat Tolbert? You got to beat Tolbert for me. You got to beat Tolbert. Yeah, Robert M. Jerry is done dealing. He loved those comp picks. Yep. That's why he doesn't deal in free agency. That's what someone was saying, and I thought that was very interesting. In his mind, he's willing to let players of value leave and get something for nothing on the back end. Yep. You're right. He loves the comp picks. I heard that. Mingo is your third receiver. He's better than those receivers mentioned. I think they're going to give him every opportunity. I do. They have another player that they said that's going to be battling. I'm going to tell you. Look at this. TJ Bass at guard. They said Brock Hoffman is the favorite to win the guard spot vacated by Zach Martin. If he's not the starter, it could be Robert Jones or perhaps an addition in the draft. If nothing changes with the roster, Bass is safe. But even one more addition could make it tough for him. I think the Cowboys, guys, I think they feel like they have their offensive line already. I do. I think they have their offensive line. There's another player, Paris Campbell. I'm going to tell y'all something. I think the Cowboys are going to be big on him too. I think the Cowboys are going to be big on Paris Campbell. And the reason why they're going to be big on Paris Campbell, speed kills. Speed kills. This dude is a speedster. Paris Campbell on his third team in as many seasons, he's shown he can get the job done, even recording 63 receptions for 623 yards in 2022 for the Indianapolis Colts. As promising as he was that year, he was a non-factor for the New York Giants and Philadelphia Eagles. Now, this is why I say this stuff needs context, because they will literally throw this league will eat you up and spit you out. Let's think about this. He was with the New York Giants with what was his name? the quarterback, Daniel or whatever. Of course he wasn't. He was with the Philadelphia Eagles last year. They have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. There's just not going to be a lot to go around. They're already not getting a lot of passes. They're not going to try to split the few passes they get between 3 receivers. They're going to split those passes up between 2 receivers and a tight end. So this is another one of these players. The Cowboys, I believe, are going to give him every opportunity to succeed. They're going to give him every opportunity to succeed. I think they are. Because, again, if I look at the Cowboys wide receiver depth chart now, I would take, right now, Jonathan Mingo, Paris Campbell over the 2 Jalens. Right now, without even seeing anything on the tape, I would take Paris Campbell and Jonathan Mingo right now. I'm just taking Paris Campbell on speed alone. I'm just taking him on speed alone. I want to see what he is. And again, I think we're going to get a great opportunity to see exactly what these players are with Dak Prescott. I want to make sure I get his 40 time right, because I know he was Paris Campbell ran a 4.31 40. Now, y'all think about this. If Paris Campbell was coming out right now, people would be oohing and ahhing over the fact that he ran a 4.31 40. They'd be going crazy right now. Right now, people would be going crazy. So, I believe the Cowboys are going to give him and Jonathan Mingo every opportunity. Every opportunity. They're going to give it to him. Robert M31, he said right now it's CeeDee, Mingo, and everybody else. And I'm putting Paris Campbell. I'm telling you, the Cowboys are going to give Paris Campbell an opportunity to succeed. Iceberg Slim. Chanel, Mingo got talent, so do Flournoy. Flournoy, I'm keeping. Tolbert had 49 catches, 627 TDs. Beat Tolbert, beat them out. And you know, Iceberg, the problem with Tolbert, inconsistent. And I think the issue is, too, for him, I think they were trying to make him into a 2 when Tolbert is a 3. He's a 3. But again, I'm fully expecting Mingo to beat him out. I'm expecting Mingo to beat him out. Reggie Moses said, Mingo can play, y'all. Go watch his old miss tape. He hasn't played with a good quarterback since he's been in the league. I'm expecting him to beat him out. I'm expecting him to beat Tolbert out. I am. D-Block said, OG, I can't green like that, bro. Mingo is not a good wide receiver. Well, again, if he don't beat out Tolbert, I don't want him. I mean, you tell me what you think. If he can't beat out Tolbert, I don't want him. I don't want him. But he's so inconsistent. I still say, and I think you responded to the comment where I made I would take Paris Campbell. I would take Paris Campbell and Mingo over the 2 Jalens. Man, I'm so interested to see what they look like in camp. I will not be surprised if people are talking about how good these guys are. Timothy Govan, he said Campbell is a special team player. Robert said speed may kill, but Campbell ain't killed nobody. Man, y'all killing me in here. Y'all killing me. Iceberg said Tolbert will beat Mingo and Flournoy. Man, Flournoy, I'm really high on Flournoy. But if Tolbert beat him out, hey, it is what it is. I said last year he was the most important wide receiver on the Dallas Cowboys team. He didn't quite rise to that occasion. But he will get his opportunity to be the 3. He will absolutely get his opportunity to be the 3. D-Block, I can't fight you on it. Hey, D-Block, I can't fight you at this point. You said the entire wide receiver room is trash. Now, I'm still going to give the other 2 an opportunity. simply because we haven't seen them be trash with Dak Prescott. So Dak Prescott kind of can help some of these wide receivers really rise to the occasion. Sammy's fan, yep, Tober was wide receiver. He was Cooper Rush's favorite receiver. Hey, I'm with you, hallelujah. D-Block got me in here rolling. Deuce can be the fastest water boy in the league. Oh, okay, let's go to the next player. That since you said Deuce, watch this. Fourth player is Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn was the feel-good story of the year when he was selected in the 2023 NFL Draft. 2 years later, he seems to be hanging on by a thread. It says Vaughn has 40 rushing attempts for 110 yards on his resume, which is a dreadful average of 2.8 yards per attempt. Now, again, this stuff needs context. Mike McCarthy didn't use this dude worth nothing. And I don't know, maybe he didn't use him worth nothing because he didn't feel like he was good enough. But at the same time, one thing I know about Mike McCarthy, he does not like the run game. McCarthy does not like the run game. He ran Kellen Moore out of town for running the ball 31% of the time, only to come right behind Kellen Moore and run the ball 31% of the time. He does not like running backs. He doesn't like the run game because in the West Coast offense, the short passing game is the run game. He was guilty of some of the same stuff in Green Bay. They had the same problems with him. But again, I never would have drafted Vaughn. I just never would have drafted Vaughn. I would have never drafted Vaughn. It was a feel-good story. The Cowboys did it for publicity. They did it because his dad works on the staff. I don't think the Cowboys would have never looked at Deuce Vaughn had his dad not worked for the staff. But again, I think Deuce Vaughn is going to be gone. Another one they have on here is Damone Clark. They have Damone Clark on here. I am 100% in agreement with this. Damone Clark defied the odds when he played 10 games as a rookie. The LSU product wasn't expected to make it to the field at all during his first season due to a neck injury, but he fought his way back earlier than expected. He also showed plenty of talent, recording 47 tackles and forcing 2 fumbles. He followed that up with 109 tackles in 2023, but was criticized for his lack of effectiveness against the run. That led to a demotion in 2024, with Clark playing in 14 games with just 2 starts. The third-year linebacker had just 28 tackles and 0.5 sacks, putting his spot in jeopardy this season. I think everybody can agree with this. I think the moment they brought in the linebackers they brought in, Damone Clark's job was already gone. I would trade Damone Clark. If I were the Cowboys, I would see if someone wanted to trade for him. Why not? Why let him walk away scot-free? Trade. See if somebody wants him. See if you can get I know a fourth one would be tough, but I would see. I see if I can get up in there. I would see if I can get a trade for him. I would. Sammy's fan said Brooks and Tobin have had enough time. They have to go. Yeah, I just think they're too inconsistent. Timothy said both Jalen's are all but gone. Campbell and Turpin, special team players. Yeah, I can't. Robert said you don't flip a switch after 6 years. We're way past potential. Campbell or Tober. He says, Big Cloud, hey, I think the Cowboys are banking big on, I think they're banking big on Mingo. I think the Cowboys are banking big on Mingo. I do. I think Jerry is big on Mingo, and I think they're going to give him every opportunity. Mingo is going to get every opportunity to start. Every opportunity to start. Iceberg Slim, he said he don't see Mingo or Flanoy beating October. Well, I'll tell you this, Iceberg Slim, if they don't beat him out, I don't know. Both of them might need to go for me. Both of them need to go for me. I'm just telling you, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm going to get 2 wide receivers, and some of these guys are already on the hot seat. I would definitely take Savion Williams over them. They're done. Didn't the Cowboys try to get Robert Jones and he signed with the Dolphins? I'm not sure. D-Block, I'm not big on them 2 Jalen's, man. I can't do it. David Everett said with 10 picks draft out of Georgia, Ohio State, Florida, Miami Hurricanes, and call it a day. Oh, yeah, I'm with you on that. Yes, sir. Dwayne said, I don't think we have time to get a wide receiver the opportunity that's already been in the NFL 3 to 4 years and hasn't proven anything. I'd say the same thing, kind of Dwayne Hart. I'm telling the whole wide receiver room, not named CeeDee Lamb, all of y'all's job in jeopardy. All of y'all jobs in jeopardy because I'm bringing in not one, I'm bringing in 2 wide receiver. What's going on, Rolando? What's going on? I noticed Tolbert is catching balls with Dak. Yep. No other receivers are there. Hey, that gets you some brownie points too. It does. CD is that wide receiver room telling everybody y'all got to knock. I ain't just letting anybody in. I feel you on that. I feel you. Yeah, Chanel, that's my problem with Tolbert. He's too inconsistent. Tolbert had the opportunity this season to become a solid number 2 for the Cowboys. He's too inconsistent. He couldn't get any of the double teams off of CeeDee Lamb. I mean, they were able to pretty much lock him down with the better corners. And he's not the kind of guy that you're going to give him jet sweeps. I mean, you're not going to just say, hey, Tolbert is so dangerous, we have to get the ball in his hands. That's just not Tolbert. And I actually think your number 3 wide receiver, that's the guy who you probably want to be doing some of that stuff. I want CeeDee Lamb to get off the jet sweeps. He's taken enough of a beating already. We don't need CeeDee Lamb on the jet sweeps. I mean, if you want to run maybe one a game, get CeeDee Lamb off the jet sweeps. I would definitely get him off that. But again, these are the 5 players that they are talking about and saying that they are on the hot seat. And we're going to see what happens, but we already know Damone Clark is not going to be a starter. That's one of the reasons why I say if I was the Cowboys, I would be looking at trading.
Yes! Here we go!
And then we have this thing with CeeDee Lamb. This thing with CeeDee Lamb is absolutely crazy. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a response by CeeDee Lamb. Let's see here. I just don't understand the league doing this type of stuff. It don't make sense to me. They wanted to bring all the celebrations. They were talking about they want all the celebrations, makes the game fun, and all these different things, only for them now to come back. Only for them now to come back and start tripping on players about the nose wipe. Now it says, here it is. This is so crazy to me. This says that CeeDee Lamb fires back at NFL's nose wipe celebration ban. And it says, the NFL slammed the gavel on the infamous nose wipe celebration on Wednesday, citing it as a violent gesture. I don't understand that. In an updated report of league rules sent to all 32 teams, the NFL compared the act to that of the simulation of firing a gun. Wiping your nose and pointing as it is a first down. I never associated that. I never associated that with the firing of a gun. It says any violent gesture which shall include but not limited to a throat slash, simulation of firing or brandishing a gun. How is the nose wipe in the same category of firing or brandishing a gun or a throat slash or any act that is sexually suggestive or offensive? Now, I know why they're doing this, because the wide receiver for the Detroit Lions scored a touchdown last year in the playoffs, and I have no idea why he just jumped on the ground and started humping the ground. I thought that was the craziest celebration I'd seen in a long time. But the nose wipe? Oh, wait, hold on. It says, Pro Football Talk added that the nose wipe is a gang sign associated with the Bloods, indicating someone is untrustworthy. Okay? Didn't know that part. Didn't know that part. And I don't know if CeeDee Lamb knew that part. Says Dallas Cowboys star CeeDee Lamb has popularized the nose wipe after picking up first downs and scoring touchdowns. Lamb responded to ESPN analyst Benjamin Solak, who posted the excerpt from the rule changes on X Wednesday. Shaking my head. I have plenty in mind, Lamb said. This is crazy to me. I don't even understand why the NFL would do this. But again, they also know doing this. Of course, they know who they're targeting, and it just brings attention to the NFL. I'm telling y'all, there are two things this NFL needs in 2025. The Dallas Cowboys winning, Dak Prescott healthy. They need both of these things. Because you already know the Cowboys really helped this league go round. And we know who they're targeting. Man, this is a dumb CeeDee Lamb rule. It's just dumb. I don't even understand the NFL doing this type of stuff. It's just crazy. Don't try to put the fun in the game and then take the fun out of the game. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about that when they did the CeeDee Lamb rule. I just thought that was crazy when they came down with that. Just absolutely crazy. All right. Now let's get to the last topic of the night. I thought this was crazy. Okay, Reginald Jackson, appreciate you. Reginald Jackson said, you know the nose wipe is gang related. I didn't. I actually didn't. He said, remember how they did Deshaun Jackson. Okay, if it's gang related, I understand it. I'm glad you're giving me some understanding on this. I appreciate you, Reginald Jackson. I didn't know it. And if it is that, then I can understand it. I can definitely understand it. Dwayne Hart, he going back old school on us. Dwayne said everyone should be like Emmitt Smith when scoring a TD. Hand the ball to the ref, not all this BS dancing, especially when they're 30 down. I feel you on that. Dwayne Hart, sometimes it's frustrating when a team be down and you know they lose and the people still celebrating. I know exactly what you're talking about. 70s fan, will the Joneses draft a wide receiver who could compete for the number one? Well, I can tell you this. I don't know if Ted McMillan, to me, is not the type of wide receiver that's going to compete with CeeDee. He's going to complement CeeDee. But when I think about it, I'm just telling us, well, again, I think Emeka Egbuka is going to push CeeDee. I think he's going to push CeeDee. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's who the Cowboys get. I think he's going to push CeeDee Lamb. Savion Williams can push anybody. The dude is so explosive. Savion Williams can push anybody. So we're going to see how that goes. But again, I don't think Ted McMillan is the type of wide receiver that's going to push CeeDee Lamb. He's going to be more of a compliment. I think Savion could do it. Dante Thornton, whether anyone believes it or not, Dante Thornton is going to be great in this league, I believe, because of the speed. And I think once the pros start working with him on his hands and his route running and he gets more time, I wouldn't be surprised if Dante Thornton earns his way to a number 2 spot on somebody's team either. But we're going to see. But they definitely got to get the number 2 there. Yeah, hey, Timothy Govan, Lamb just going to make up something else. That's all they're going to do. But again, I did not know that was associated with gangs. I didn't. Nisi said they made us ban the tush push, so ban CD celebration. Okay, so did the tush push actually get banned? I know people were pushing for it. I didn't know if it actually got banned. Now, I see here in the New York Post, it says, Nisi, potential tush push ban gaining momentum ahead of pivotal vote, NFL Insider. You know what? I think they are now going to ban it. Even though the Eagles didn't use it, it wasn't a factor in the Super Bowl per se, but it was a factor in the playoff games, especially against the doggone Rams. It was a huge factor. Yeah, I think the play, they're going to probably, I will not be surprised if they ban it because it's pretty much unstoppable if the right team runs it. Now, the other issue is this. Other teams have tried to run it. They can't stop it. They can't run it the way the Philadelphia Eagles run it. They can't do it. You would think Josh Allen would be able to run it better than Jalen Hurts, but he can't. He can't run it as good. Baltimore Ravens got smart. They started letting their tight end run it for them because Lamar Jackson doesn't have enough leverage on his own to be able to do it. You know, Jalen Hurts is over here doggone squatting 600 pounds. So when he gets low and starts driving those legs and then he gets the push, he's even harder to stop. I'm not surprised that they are banning this play, especially now that the Eagles have gotten a Super Bowl win. Yeah, I'm not surprised they're banning it. But, okay, again, I didn't know the nose thing was gang-related. Okay, I did not know that. I did not know that. Let me see here. I just saw Cowboys flash across my screen. Nothing, another mock draft. Okay. Woo, boy, Chanel. They're not even in the same category when you start talking about Randy Moss. Yeah, they're not even in the same category, man. Moss was generational, no doubt about it. Blue Star, I agree with you to this degree. You said they did that to CeeDee because he's a Cowboy and wears a star on his helmet. That's why. If it was gang-related, why didn't they ban it before? Come on now. It's not that big of an issue. It seems like that there's starting to be a push for some of the fun to be, and I don't know. I'm not a person that really goes nuts over celebrations and stuff no more. I don't go nuts over that stuff. It's not going to be a big deal to me. But again, it sounds like there are some people who are starting to complain about the celebrations again. That's all I can figure. Dwayne probably never played. Celebrating is in the game. Yeah, I think people are starting to complain about it again. Sizzling. Like I said, I didn't know it was a gang thing. I ain't never heard it. I never heard about it. But again, it's kind of strange to me. Why this year? Woo, Big C from Tennessee. Never. And see, Big C, this is what I was explaining early on about Ted McMillan. The team that gets Ted McMillan, they're going to have to understand what he is. He's a pure wide receiver, and he doesn't have top-end speed. He's going to be able to get open in some of the zones. The tight window throws won't be as tight because of his catch radius. He has very good hands, crispy route runner. He's going to be great in the red zone. He's going to be great he'll be great at the jump balls, fade routes, all those different things. I think he's going to be really good at those. But just understand what he is. He's not a burner. Doesn't mean he can't get open. It doesn't mean he can't outrun someone if he gets 3 or 4 steps. But that's probably not what you're going to be using him for. So if you're going to get Ted McMillan, understand you're going to still need that element on your team. Ted McMillan is not a top off the defense wide receiver. Not from everything I've seen. Randy Moss, top off the defense wide receiver, required double and triple coverage, and that still wasn't enough. Ted McMillan ain't that. Yeah, Ted McMillan ain't that. Because of Randy Moss, all he did was throw the hand up. Randy Moss throw the hand up and it's over. I don't care who covering him. He throw the hand up, it's over. It's over. So, yeah, he definitely will not be him. Yeah, he definitely won't be, he definitely won't be Randy Moss. I don't think there's going to be Randy Moss. Okay, UFL is going on. Okay, cool. I remember that, Rolando. Yep, because Emmett used to take his helmet off after every touchdown and the horse tackle, and that was because Roy Williams, I can't remember, what was the guy's, I'm thinking his name was Williams. He was the safety for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I understood why they had to, that doggone, I guess they call it the horse tackle, grabbing him by the shoulder pads. He wound up breaking Terrell Owens' leg like that. Yeah, he wound up breaking Terrell Owens' leg, so I remember them doing that. Yep, they said Green Bay was the only team trying to get it banned. Oh, Russell Jackson, I wonder why. But again, they have to vote on it. We're going to see how all the teams feel once it gets voted on. We're going to see how all the teams feel when it gets voted on. All right. So, again, I didn't know it was gang-related. Answer a little bit more to it. But, again, if that's the case, probably should have had it done earlier. But, again, it's one of those things to me. It's just insignificant in the grand scheme of things because it doesn't impede the play of a player by taking that out. But let's get to this Cowboys 2025 record. When I saw this, I was blown away. It looks like they're already betting on the team's records, the odds of the team's records. We're going to go through this as the season gets closer and closer and talking about how many games. And we're going to go probably a little bit after the draft. We'll start talking about it. But I already know where I am on this. I believe the Cowboys will get double-digit wins this year. But this is where they are. It says 2025 NFL betting. Season win totals projections for all 32 teams. I'm not a gambler, but I tell you this, boy, I bet there are some people that get absolute. I bet there are people who make absolute money doing this part. So it's basically about how many games will each team win. It says 9 teams have an over-under of 10.5 victories or more, which would be the most teams with a win total greater than 10 in a season since the league expanded to 32 teams in 2002. 8 teams had an over-under of 10.5 or higher last season, and 9 teams reached at least 11 wins. 6 others reached 10 wins. On the other end of the spectrum is the Cleveland Browns, who have the lowest win total projection at 4.5. 5 teams have an over-under of 5 and 5 or whatever this is saying. It says, here is each team's projected win total at ESPN Bet. All right, so let's look at what they're rolling with here. So they have the Baltimore Ravens at 11.5 wins. Super Bowl winner plus 650. I don't think Baltimore Ravens winning anymore is the problem. They're going to probably win 12 games again. They're going to probably win 12 games again. It said this is Baltimore's 6th straight season with a win total in double digits. Says the Ravens have gone over their win total in back-to-back seasons after going under the previous 3. The Ravens have the 3rd best odds to win the Super Bowl at 650. Buffalo Bills. Shouldn't surprise anyone. It says Clay's projection 11.7. The Bills have won 11-plus games in 5 straight seasons. I'm just telling y'all right now. The league wants Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl so bad it's killing them. I don't understand this stuff. I'm not even going to try to understand it. This league is so big on Josh Allen. They want him to win bad. And I mean bad. They're saying they're going to win 11.5 games. That is no surprise. They won 13 last year. That's no surprise. Kansas City Chiefs, they got 11.5 wins. Probably not a surprise thing. I don't know, though. You know what? I could actually see the Cleveland Browns winning around 10 games. The Cleveland Browns, I mean, they struggled so hard last year. Struggled so hard. I mean, there was all kinds of weird ways they were winning games. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if the Kansas City Chiefs are getting Patrick Mahomes enough anymore. Travis Kelce is on the down. He's on the decline in his career. I just don't know if they're really adding enough. I could see the Kansas City Chiefs winning 10. Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. They got them projected at 10.5 wins. I'm telling y'all, Dak Prescott's back. Dak Prescott is back. The Philadelphia Eagles are not beating the Dallas Cowboys twice. They're not doing it. They're not beating the Dallas Cowboys twice. They might not beat them twice. They might not beat them once, but they're not beating them twice. There will be more losses for the Eagles this year, not to mention how their team has somewhat changed. These players they let go, they're going to miss them. They're going to miss them. I would not be surprised if they did win somewhere around 10 games. Cincinnati Bengals, they're projecting 8.6 wins. Cincinnati hasn't shown me anything they've done on defense. I could see maybe one more win. Wouldn't be surprised. Detroit Lions, they haven't projected 10.5 wins. He says he has them ranked at 11.9. I think the Detroit Lions issue is we are going to have to see what they look like after now they have 2 new coaches, 2 new coordinators. Los Angeles Chargers, they got them at 8.5. Clay's projection is 8.5. I guess they have them at 10.5 wins. I could see that for the Los Angeles Chargers. 22-1 odds to go to the Super Bowl. Los Angeles Rams, 10.5 wins. I could see that too. That defensive line is absolutely insane. They've added Devontae Adams. See what they do. Now, this right here is insane. So, with everything the San Francisco 49ers have done, there is no way I see the San Francisco 49ers winning 10.5 games. I don't see it. I do not see it. I do not see it. Don't see it. Y'all tell me what you think. I do not see the 49ers winning 10.5 games. Man, that boy, hey, that boy Rob Williams, Chanel, and Mr. J, that boy Rob Williams was a hitter too. He was a hitter. For sure he was a hitter. Yeah, Jerry boy, I bet he still loses sleep over the Randy Moss thing. Okay, Chanel verified it, did not know it. Did not know it was a gang sign. So you guys know it, I'm pretty sure. Now me, I'm older, don't really deal in that type of stuff. Some of y'all might be on the coast over there. Maybe you've heard it from somewhere else, and I definitely would think the younger people would probably understand some of that. So I can see probably where they're coming from with this. Even though they probably should have did it earlier rather than this late. Semi's fan, I think some of the other TD celebrations be looked at too. Well, I can tell you now, the sexual jester, man, that celebration that dude did in the end zone for Detroit last year in that doggone playoff game, boy, that was some P. Diddy stuff right there. I'm like, this dude is tripping. Big Cloud, 12-5 is what I'm hoping for this year. It would carry a lot of momentum into 2026. Yes, sir. I'm with you. Quentin, appreciate that super chat. Yeah, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal, but I still see double-digit wins. When they get that schedule up, we're gonna go over it again. Yeah, we're definitely gonna go over it. The 70s fan, I don't want Dak Prescott in the pocket that long anyway. I tell you this, the Cowboys are really going to get Dak Prescott a running game because I think their intention is give him much time as possible in the pocket. They got to get the play action back. Oh, Daniel Jones, that's the guy from New York. Yeah, they got to get that play action back. Yeah, they got to get that play action back. Yeah, I'm with you, Dwayne Hart. Man, the 49ers lost 11 or 12 players. How in the world are they projecting them to get 10.5 wins? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I don't see it. Hey, I'm glad y'all putting me up on game on this thing with the nose thing. So now if I make a video about it, I can talk about it. Rolando, he says, do you want to see the first game versus the Cowboys versus the Eagles will be the highest? Oh, man, yes. Yes, no doubt about it. I want to see it. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles open up with the Kansas City Chiefs. Yep, Iceberg Slim, I agree with you on the part about him practicing with Tolbert. I agree with you on that. And I think Dak is probably going to try to make Tolbert successful too. Yeah, my man Mills, what's up? Man, hey, I wouldn't be mad if they did, Mills. I would not be mad if they did. Chanel, you're probably right. They probably didn't know it and somebody made them, brought it to their attention. Quentin Scott, shocker, more than 10 wins for the Cowboys. I think it will be 10. That's where I'm at the Cowboys either winning 10-12. Dak Prescott getting you double-digit wins if he's healthy. If Dak Prescott is healthy, I think they will get 12 wins. I wouldn't be shocked if they get right back to 12 wins. And they are going to win a playoff game this year. You watch what I tell you. I'm not going to be shocked. Washington Commanders, they have them at 10.5 wins. I believe the Washington Commanders, because this always happens when these rookie quarterbacks, they come out here and and everybody's like, oh, they the best thing since sliced bread. And then these defensive coordinators, they go and look at tape. And then when you come back, other teams are better. And that quarterback don't look the same. Jaden Daniels is still going to be good. And his mom is definitely trying to keep that head on his shoulder screwed on right. But the Washington Commanders, everybody's going to be aware. They're going to be aware. And I will not be surprised if they also come back to earth. And they're probably going to be about a 10-win team. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 9. I wouldn't. Dwayne Hart, you already know where I am. I want those 2 Ohio State boys myself. Denver Broncos, 9.5 wins. This will not shock me if they get to 10 or 11. It will not shock me. The Denver Broncos got a crazy defense. Green Bay Packers, man, let me tell you something. I'm just starting to wonder when are the Packers going to start looking at this Jordan Love deal and be like, man, maybe we pulled the trigger on that deal too quick. We do realize that Jordan Love got a huge contract based on half a season. Half a season in a playoff win against the Cowboys. Half a win and a playoff win against the Cowboys. Last year, didn't look as good. Got some injuries. Team had some injuries. I will not be surprised if they are at about 9 wins. 9 wins. Houston Texans. I don't know what's going on with the Houston Texans. They must be about to go into the draft and get an entirely new offensive line because they basically gave their entire offensive line away. They got them at 9.5 wins. I could see the Houston Texans again. Again. Isn't it strange C.J. Stroud's first season? Remember C.J. Stroud? Came back to earth last year. Injuries, it's a part of what happens a lot of times to bring these players back to earth. They got a great defense. They didn't do anything to help themselves on the offensive line. Not going to be surprised. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not going to be surprised again. 9 wins. Wouldn't shock me. Would not shock me. I think they're going to struggle a little bit. Arizona Cardinals, 8.5 wins. I don't see it. I don't see it. I do not see it. They got a great wide receiver. I just don't understand. Why would you get a quarterback that small? He's a great athlete. Let me tell you something. To make it to this level and be that small, man, you got to be a great athlete. Kyler Murray, there's just no way I would have done that. There's just no way I would have done that. I mean, you got to really tailor an offense towards a quarterback that small. I mean, the drop backs got to be further. You got to roll him out because you can't do the 3-step drop stuff hardly. He can't see over the line. I mean, it's just such a different way to play with Kyler Murray. 8.5 wins. If they get 8 wins, that'll be a victory for them. Don't see it. Chicago Bears, nope. Don't see it. Y'all tell me I don't see it. I do not see the Chicago Bears getting 8 wins. I'll be shocked. I think they need a lot of work. Ben is not going to step in there and be the magic man and take them from 5-12 to 10-6. 10-7 or something. At least I don't think he is. Dallas Cowboys. Look at this. Explain this to me. Explain this to me for the Dallas Cowboys. With Cooper Rush at the quarterback for half the year, when the schedule got easier, the Cowboys were able to still pull out 7 games. There is no way I will believe that Dak Prescott, what they've done in free agency, what they're going to do, or what I think they're going to do in the draft, there is no way the Cowboys only get 8.5 wins. There's no way. There's no way. I don't care how brutal that schedule is. The Cowboys, I believe, will win 10 games with Dak Prescott. Minimum 10 games. Excuse me. Let me see if I can find this real quick. There is no way the Dallas Cowboys win 8 games only. We're going to go on over this more in depth once we kind of get once we get the schedule. Once we kind of get the schedule as far as the dates and stuff like that. But this is the Cowboys. Let me show you why I am where I am. Why I believe the Cowboys should be able to get even 10 wins out of this. The reason why I believe it. So these are the home games. Giants, win. Eagles at home, win. Commanders at home, win. Packers in Dallas, win. Chiefs in Dallas, maybe a little bit tougher. Chargers in Dallas, win all day long. Vikings in Dallas, watch what I tell you, win. Win. We're going to beat the Vikings. We're going to beat the Cardinals. In those home games, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 games. This will not be like the Cowboys last year. Cowboys could not win at home last year. Book it. The Cowboys will win at home this year. The Cowboys will win at home this year. The Cowboys, that is 8 games. The Cowboys will be 7-1, no less than 6-2 at home. Book it. Book it. Tell me where y'all are. I'm going to let y'all catch up with me. Y'all tell me where y'all are. There is no way with this home schedule. There is no way with this home schedule. The Dallas Cowboys do not get 6 wins. There is no way. Y'all tell me what you think. There is no way for me the Cowboys don't get 6 wins at home. 6-2, easy. Azteca, what's going on? 6-2, easy, at home. This home record for the Cowboys to me, 6-2. Iceberg Slim said Roger Goodell still beefing with Jerry Jones. He said he's still beefing. Man, 70s fan, that man is OA. I'm just wondering when other Green Bay Packers going to come to the conclusion they might overpay for Jordan Love. But again, the Dallas Cowboys, guys, their home games, Giants, win. Eagles in Dallas, win. Commanders in Dallas, win. Packers in Dallas, win. Chiefs, I'm questioning. Chargers, win. Vikings, win. Cardinals, win. There will probably be a hiccup in there. The Cowboys will not have the same record at home again. The Cowboys are going at least the max 7-1, minimum 6-2. Y'all watch what I tell you. You watch what I tell you about these doggone Cowboys. Watch how good they be. They're not doing what they did at home last year. They're not doing it. Quentin, appreciate that super chat. Pete Carroll, Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, Andy Reid. I'm still saying at home, the Cowboys. No less than 6-2. No, I'll be shocked if they're less than 6-2. The Packers have shown. The Packers have not been that same team that beat the Cowboys. They've shown it. Commanders, We beat them at home, almost beat them with Trey Lance. We're beating the Commanders at home. We're beating the Commanders at home. Packers, I'm telling you, we're beating them. Chiefs, they're the Chiefs. I'm not going to argue that one. We could lose it. Chargers, Dak Prescott has owned, a lot of people don't realize it, Dak Prescott has owned the golden boy, Justin Herbert. He's owned him. The Vikings seem to be going with their rookie quarterback from last year. The Vikings will not look the same. They're not going to win the same amount of games like they did with one Sam Darnold. You watch what I tell you. The Vikings will not get near, I don't think they're going to get nowhere near the wins they got when they had Sam Darnold. The Cardinals, I'm sorry, they're not beating the Cowboys at home. Cowboys, they're just not doing it. The Cardinals are not beating the Cowboys. They're not doing it. I can't even go there. They're not doing it. So again, my home record for the Dallas Cowboys is 7-1. 7-1 is my record for the Cowboys. 7-1 or 6-2. That's the home record I have for the Cowboys. Book it. Book it. I'm telling you, book it. This team is going to be way better than they were this year. Book it. The key to really getting in the playoffs in this league, win your home games, man. Win your home games. You probably can't win them all, but you need to win more than 50% of your home games. You do. You have to win these home games. And I'm telling you, these teams, the Cowboys are going to beat these teams at home. They are. They're going to beat these teams at home. Y'all tell me what you think. Hey, Pete, I don't know about Ted being in them conversations with Jerry and Chris and especially Larry Fitzgerald and Quan Bolden. Man, let me tell you something. Pete, I'm just telling us. You're talking about explosive players right there. Savion Williams is the one that fits those bills. Fits those bills. I'm telling you. D-Block. What you think, D-Block? Tell me what you think, D-Block. Can you see, when you look at this record, these teams at home, these divisional games, why wouldn't we split those? Why wouldn't we split these divisional games? We sweep. We're sweeping the Giants. We always sweep the Giants. We're sweeping them. The Eagles, we're going to split it. I'm not going to be surprised we split it. Commanders, we almost got them twice last year. Do y'all realize we almost got the Commanders twice last year? And they were playing their starters in the first half of that game. We almost got them last year. Twice. We got the Commanders. I'm telling y'all, Jordan Love, even healthy. Jordan Love, I'm just wondering when are the Packers going to say, we might have jumped a little too fast on that deal. Vikings quarterback, he's a rookie. He's not beating us. This will actually be his rookie season. He's not beating us. Only 2 games I'll give us home losses on. And I'm very reluctant. I'm going to put a question mark by it. But this is where I am. The only 2 I'll question, and only 1 I'll question, is the Chargers. Because I think the Cowboys can knock them off too, because Dak Prescott has owned Justin Herbert and the Chargers. He's owned them. I'm telling us. He's owned them. He's absolutely owned them. So, guys, this for me is the home record. Anybody want to go 6-2? I'm with you. I won't argue 6-2. I will not argue 6-2. And let me tell you about some of these same people that got the Cowboys at the win total they have the Cowboys at. These were the same people. Did y'all hear what these people were saying? The Cowboys last year were like, what, 15-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. A lot of people thought the Cowboys were going to the Super Bowl last year. A lot of people thought that. These are them same people. And now these same people don't think we're going to hardly win any games. Watch what the Cowboys do. Watch what the boys do. Rolando said, if Dak doesn't get hurt, I'm the same way. I tell my uncle every year, if Dak stay healthy, we winning. If Dak stay healthy, we winning. Bottom line, we're winning. We are absolutely winning. Pete said, I'm taking a big wide receiver that ain't Ted. It's Jaden Higgins or Dante Thornton. I'm good with Savion. Kid needs a jugs machine in his house. Yeah. Hey, but he got something they can't teach. He's got tenacity. That boy's bad when he get the ball in his hands. Yep, D Block. We will we will sweep the Giants. Yep. Split the Commanders. Yep. And the Birds. Yep. I'm with you. That's 4 wins. That's 4 wins already. And when you look at the home total, that's 3 wins. That's 3 wins. Packers, we're beating them. We're getting revenge on the Packers. We're going to beat them. We're going to finally beat them. Mike McCarthy couldn't find a way to beat them. We're going to beat them without Mike McCarthy finally. We're going to beat the Cardinals. We're going to beat the Cardinals. Vikings, we're going to beat the Vikings are going to have I got a feeling they're going to have a serious regressing because the quarterback, man, he's going to be a rookie. Yep, we can beat the Chargers at the crib, D Block, no doubt. No doubt. Mills said, I see about 12 or 13 wins. I see 2 home losses to the Commanders and the Cardinals actually play us well, Kyler 3-0 against us. We're beating them this time. I believe we're beating them, but I like what you're saying there. If Dak stay healthy, we can win. That's it. Now, let's go to the away. These are the away games. Let me just tell y'all how this stuff never shapes out the way these guys say. This is crazy to me when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. How in the world does the Dallas Cowboys, how in the world, even when you look on the road, how in the world does the Cowboys not be able to pull 4 wins out of this? There is no way the Cowboys don't pull 4 wins out of this. I see, and I said this when I first saw the schedule. I immediately, and y'all excuse my penmanship. I'm pretty good at writing, but I'm writing on a pad and I'm writing fast. I immediately, when I look at these home games, I see 4 wins without even blinking. The Cowboys continue to own the Giants, and they're going to continue to own the Giants. The Eagles, they'll get us a home. The Bears, Matt Eberflus is going to put absolute hands on the Bears. You watch what I tell you. Matt Eberflus is going to put absolute hands on the Bears. You watch what I tell you. Book it. He will put absolute hands on them. Now, I'm going to tell you the team that I would say would be a handful. The Broncos are pretty doggone good. The Broncos are pretty doggone good. Wouldn't be surprised if they beat us. The Lions, they're going to look a little bit different. This is one of those games. I'm going to put a loss with a question mark. I could see it going either way, but I don't want to say the Cowboys are going to win every game. The Raiders, win. We're going to beat them. Jets, we're going to beat them. Panthers, we're going to beat them. So if you look, that is what, 9 games? And there must be a game missing in here. Let's see here. That is, okay, wait, that's 9 games. I must have missed somebody. Giants, Eagles. Okay, I missed the Commanders. All right. All right. Now, this is with me splitting the games with the NFC East, minus the Giants. We're sweeping them. This is with me splitting. I could see us sweeping the Commanders, but it'll be a tough task. But I'm going to put the L there. The Lions, the L there. So if this is 9 games, this is a 5-4 record on the road. That right there is 11-6. That's in the area of where I see the Cowboys. 11-6. 11-6. And if the Cowboys are really banging the way that they should be banging, the Cowboys are going to have an opportunity to squeeze out a couple of more of these home games. They will have an opportunity to squeeze out a couple of more of these home games. So for me, I don't see no way possible the Cowboys. It would be with Dak Prescott. Understand, we're going to have a brand new offense. Whole different offensive scheme. Whole different defensive scheme. Dak Prescott healthy. We're going to finally have a number 2 wide receiver. We're going to have a very good running back in the backfield. Play action pass. There is no way. There is no way. It will be an absolute travesty. Even with the way the team was last year. You're telling me the Cowboys are going to go below 500 at home against these teams? It'll be a travesty, even with a brand new coaching staff. Nope. The Cowboys got too many good players remaining on this team. The Cowboys, with the added depth that they've added, they've shored up the linebacker position. We got Dante Fowler. I think we're a little bit better on the defensive line. I want to see what we do in the draft and remaining of free agency. They think they already have the offensive line. We still got CeeDee Lamb. We still got the tight end. We're going to see what Ferguson is going to be this year. He may get challenged a little bit this year by Schoonmaker and one of the other tight ends. And we don't even know who they're going to bring in as far as undrafted free agents. But the place that's going to make the biggest difference for this team, who they get at wide receiver and who they get at running back. We saw the effect that Zeke had on this team when they brought him in. We saw the effect that CeeDee Lamb had when they brought him on this team. The Dallas Cowboys, there is no way the Cowboys don't go above 500 at home. There's no way. There is no way. I cannot see 4 losses at home. I can't see 4 teams at home beating the Cowboys. They're not losing to the NFC East at home this year. Not this year. Packers, they have not been the same since they beat Dallas in that game. They didn't look the same even when they were healthy. I'm just loving everything the Cowboys are doing. I can't see less than 6-2. Even if they go 5-3, I can't see them not winning 5 of these games on the road. The Cowboys will get double-digit wins next season. I think they're going to be no less than 10-7. 11-6, probably going to be about the sticking point. But if they're banging the way that they're supposed to be banging, the Cowboys may get 12-5 again. They may get 12-5 again. And the reason why I say that is, let me see. Let me show you something with let me show you something with Brian Schottenheimer. Let me show you something that's ironic. I thought this was very interesting. So, let me show you what happened to Brian Schottenheimer. This is why I feel the way I do about what the Cowboys are going to do. Brian Schottenheimer was the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson. This was Brian Schottenheimer's record. I want you to notice what happened year over year. It's strange to me in this league, man. They'll run you out this league for losing. they'll run you out this league for winning. Brian Schottenheimer, 10-6, 0-1 in the playoffs. This is why I will not be surprised in the first season of Brian Schottenheimer being the head coach. I'm not going to be surprised with there being 17 games. The first record will probably be 12. The first record, I'm not going to be surprised if it's 10-7 or 11-5. But then in 2019, with Russell Wilson, they went 11-5. They got a playoff win. They lost a playoff. And they lost a heartbreaking playoff game in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. 11-5. 11-5. They improved one game year over year. One game and a playoff win. 11-5. He got to the 2020 season. 12-4. 12-4. Went 0-1 in the playoffs, and that's probably what got him out of there. And I think Schottenheimer was a little too aggressive for Pete Carroll. How do you get fired on the 12-4 season, man? How do you get let go? 10-6, 11-5, and 12-4, and you get let go? Crazy work. But again, I see the Cowboys going 10-6, 11-7. That following season, will not be surprised if the 12-5, 13-4. Then you see them, they'll be on fire by that 2027. They'll probably be around 13-4, something like that. So they are setting a great foundation this season to really take off. And so I believe that the Dallas Cowboys players that they have right now are better than the players that Shotty started building with through 2018 through 2020, because I think Dak is better now than what Russell Wilson was in 2018. And this is what got Russell Wilson that huge contract in Denver. This is what got him that huge contract. And again, this is the part that I'm tripping on. Now with some conversation, now we're finding out something about Brian Schottenheimer. You want to know who was partially responsible for Dak Prescott's MVP run, all-pro season? Brian Schottenheimer. Now we heard that Brian Schottenheimer was the one who was putting in the wrinkles in the Cowboys offense. He was the one who started getting Mike McCarthy to trust Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb to go bonkers, and that's what happened. Now, if you think about what happened in 7-10, because some people were asking the question like, well, if Brian Schottenheimer had all the answers, why didn't he give them to Mike McCarthy in the last season? So do we think that Mike McCarthy was actually going to let Brian Schottenheimer call some shots when Mike McCarthy fully knew it was his last season? Mike McCarthy knew what was going on. And Mike McCarthy was basically saying, I'm going to do it my way. And this is one of the reasons why him and Jerry was fighting so much. This is definitely one of the reasons why they were fighting so much. And so, I'm convinced. We'll talk about this more as the season goes on. I'm convinced the Cowboys are going to be way better faster than anyone imagines. They're going to be better way faster. A lot of people are giving the Cowboys like bad free agency grades. I'm sorry, I don't think it was a bad grade. I gave them a B-. The Cowboys improved, and I mean they improved in some very pivotal places. They got better on the defensive line. They got better at the linebacker position. We got questions at cornerback, but we went and got Kyer Elam. I still think we need to do some safety work. We'll see what they do with that. When we look at the offense, they made a couple of improvements. We'll see how that all turns out. They're going to the draft for the skill positions. That's exactly what they need to do. And again, I'm telling y'all, do not rule out Tyler Lockett coming to the Cowboys. I'm not ruling out Tyler Lockett. I would not be surprised if Tyler Lockett wound up in Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised. Everyone says we need a veteran presence. Well, he would be a veteran presence. That's for sure. He would probably be really good for us in the slot. He'd be really good for us in the slot. So we're going to see what the Cowboys do. Y'all tell me what you think. I'm telling you, I think the Cowboys will be somewhere probably around 11-6 this coming season. I see 11-6. And based on what we did last year, I'd be feeling real good about 11-6. Pete, I'm with you. I want the Cowboys to double dip at wide receiver. I want the Cowboys to double dip at running back. Those are the two positions that I want the Cowboys to double dip at. Iceberg, he said McMillan will be a Cowboy. He wants to be one. He probably will be. I think the Cowboys are going to make this as simple as possible. If Ted McMillan is there and Genty is not there, you take Ted McMillan. If Genty is there and Ted McMillan is there, there is no way now the Cowboys are passing on Ashton Genty. There is no way if he's there. If neither one of them is there, I will not be surprised if the Cowboys trade back, try to get that 4th-round draft pick back, and then they're probably going to pick a Micah Ibuka, and then they're going to come back in the 2nd round, and they're going to get Travion Henderson. Or they'll do it in reverse. They'll get Omarion Hampton in the 1st round when they trade back. And in the 2nd round, they might surprise us and get Savion Williams. Or if Travion Henderson is there, if Mecca is there, they'll probably get a Mecca. But the Cowboys are going to get the best wide receiver on the board. But I'm just telling y'all, I am going to be very interested to see where one Savion Williams goes. Because I'm telling you, if I'm a scout on a team, and when I turn on the tape, I think again, with Ted McMillan, you know what you're going to get. Pure wide receiver. He comes in day one, wide receiver number 2. Chain mover, red zone threat, fade route threat. This is what you're going to get with Ted McMillan. He will alleviate some of the double coverages off of one CeeDee Lamb because of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is immediately going to put that much trust in him, I believe. He's a big wide receiver. He'll be able to find easily in the zone, catch radius. You'll be able to throw it higher than you normally do. That's what you're going to get with Ted McMillan, so I'm not going to be surprised if they get Ted McMillan. But Savion Williams is very explosive, and I will not be surprised if the Cowboys find a way to get him. I will not. But again, Cowboys up for a great season. I'm ready for them to get this doggone Micah Parsons thing done. Appreciate you, hallelujah. I'm ready for them to get this Micah Parsons dumb stuff done. Get this stuff done. You don't need this. People think this stuff don't bother. It does in a sense. Because some of you already said it. When you keep doing the same thing, people keep expecting the same thing. The only way people expect something different is you do something different. And they need to get Micah Parsons signed. Get this dumb stuff out of here. Micah Parsons needs to be in the volunteers. He does. Robert M.G. As for Lockett, don't be messing with Jerry's comp picks. You know he don't play. Hey, you hit it right on the head. I forgot about that, man. I saw somebody talking about Jerry and these comp picks the other day. The Cowboys are very calculated in what they do. Hey, Pete, once Genty worked out with his shirt off, no. There is no way the Cowboys would pass on Genty if he's there. I wouldn't even be surprised if, let me tell you, this wouldn't even surprise me. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Cowboys traded up to get Genty. I wouldn't. I would not be surprised if the Cowboys traded up to get Genty. I just wouldn't. Think about this. You're the Cowboys. You don't need a quarterback. Okay. What if you trade up for Genty and you tell the Las Vegas Raiders, tell you what we'll do. We'll give you our 2026 first-round pick if you'll let us get Genty in 2025. We'll give you our 2026 number 1 pick. The Cowboys don't like 4th-round draft picks anyway. We'll give you our 1st and the 4th. I would not be surprised if the Cowboys get a little antsy as the draft. I will not be surprised that on draft day, if the Cowboys can see an opening, because people keep talking, they've been saying that Jerry likes Travis Hunter. I'm sorry, I'm not getting Travis Hunter over Ashton Jeanty. I'm not doing it. And I know Travis Hunter is he's probably a generational player. But I think some teams are probably going to be confused at how they're going to use him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets misused by some teams. I mean, you're going to have to really figure out with Travis, like, what is really his best position? He cannot play both in the pros. It's not possible. The game is too brutal in the pros. It's too physical. It's too brutal. You can't do full-time both ways. The amount of plays he was playing in college, you can get away with that stuff. You cannot get away with that in the pros. So you're going to have to decide which side of the ball would you keep Travis on. I think he's a little small for a wide receiver. He could definitely be one of those gadget type guys on the offense because he's got a lot of speed, got a lot of ability when he gets the ball in his hand. And then again, he's a little light as a cornerback. So where do you play him? If I'm the Cowboys, I would just go for a pure. I'm just going for if Jeanty is there, I'm getting him. If I can get Jeanty with minimal give up, I might even trade up for Jeanty. I might even trade up for him, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if the Cowboys going to do it. I'm not going to be surprised. Pete said he'd trade up for him. I would too if I didn't have to give up a whole lot. I would trade up for Jeanty. I would definitely trade up for him. Yeah, that dude Spanford, man, he going to have a chance to be tight end 1 if Ferguson keep playing around. Pete, I think that Jerry sees Deion Sanders in Travis. That's what I think he sees in him. But I'm just telling you, for me, if Jeanty is there, I'm getting Jeanty. If I can give up not too much, I trade up to get Jeanty. Cowboy fan for life. He said he played, I think you're talking about Travis Hunter. You play him at wide receiver? Man, he's gifted. I'm not going to even lie to you. He's gifted. But I don't think he's gifted. He's very gifted. But I do think the Cowboys, I think they have more need for a pure wide receiver and running back. Because I'm telling you, Travis is going to present a problem for teams. And if you can't use him the right way, don't even get him. Don't even waste his time. Don't even waste your draft pick. Because that's all you'll be doing if you get him. Whoever gets him has got to have a sheer plan for him of what they're going to do. And you can't be playing around, because if not, you think you have 2 players and you have none. Bottom line. So, hey, man, again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. We're going to be back tomorrow on Saturday. Hopefully we get some news. Who knows? Maybe Micah Parsons could get signed tonight or get signed tomorrow. Cowboys don't seem like they went on vacation, so why not sign Micah Parsons? Again, appreciate all the super chats tonight. Appreciate all the participation, all the knowledge you guys be dropping in the chat. Appreciate all of you. Until the next time, let's talk Cowboys. We talk facts. Peace.